I have not framed myself on the screen. Okay, folks, let's give this a second. Is that too bright? That might be too bright. I always wonder about that light. Hello, hello. This is Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Delta Mike, as I said, that's me. Well, it's my initials in the NATO phonetic alphabet, DM, Delta Mike. Down and out, homeless. A tramp, a hobo, a vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode. Some might say a bum. Probably only if you're American. Someone who lives rough, lives on the streets, or in my case, lives in a field, in a tent if you can see the fabric behind my head. Gradually, like all the previous tents, it's falling inwards. It is collapsing under its own weight. It's becoming kind of slightly wider, but slightly compressed. I bumped my head earlier on entering into the bedroom, the storage room at the far side of the tent. Anyway, Delta Mike down and out in Torrevieja. Torrevieja is a city on the southeast coast of Spain in the Alicante region, about 1 hour south of Alicante, 1 hour north of the city of Murcia, which is in the Murcia region, a little bit further down the road. Okay, folks, we're now 2 minutes in. I've managed to burn some time. Nobody's talking to me, no? Chat. These streams are best watched with chat enabled, so that you can keep up with us, or try and keep up with us. You want chat enabled, and if possible, you want to not select, by default, YouTube will select top chat, which filters out about 20 to 25% of messages, especially if there's any vulgar language or whatever. If you want the real, the real grown-up version, live chat. So you want to click either the cog or the burger menu above chat, and you want to select all messages or whatever the word. The wording varies actually by app and by platform. Live chat, all messages are visible is what I get here in Android, but you'll get the gist. It's UK Richie, whom I'm a little bit annoyed with in a good way, but we will talk offline, my friend. We will talk offline. A little bit too much, a little bit too often. Be careful. Make sure that you've got and make sure that you're taking care of yourself. I've had people in the past send me donations, and then it transpires that they're struggling themselves. Now I appreciate all. I'm a little bit worse off than most. I am in a field, in a foreign country. But I want everybody to make sure that they've taken care of themselves and their own first. There is, folks, there is a donation link at the top. I changed the wording a little bit today. I'm not sure. It was a little bit just on the fly. This whole thing's on the fly. I don't do a Tuesday stream, but today I just thought I want to do a midweek stream. And I know I'm not going to do one on Wednesday because my friend Scruff Dog does a Wednesday stream and I watch it. So I'm not available, and I don't want to clash with a friend's audience. I don't want to step on toes. I kind of stood in last week when he had an issue because his house, he had a power cut. So I did stream on Wednesday. But I'm not expecting a power cut per week over in Maryland. So here we are. I felt like streaming, so here we are. Tommy Tombstone, hello. Tom Tombstone's in the house. Not his real name. You know that Tombstone is just made up, but everyone knows that. But there he is. It did take me a couple of weeks to catch it, and I might even have needed it explaining to me. I don't think I actually caught it and noticed it first time around. But here we are, folks. I just wanted to stream, and so here we are. That light is a bit too bright in my eyes. Would anybody mind if I knock that down one? That's how I normally look. The lamp must have a bit more oomph tonight because of being fully charged, maybe. I would introduce you to my co-star, but she is firmly buried under the covers, and she's making it quite clear she wants nothing to do with us. There's Roger. Down, not out, lad. Yeah, this. I would agree with. I tried naming. I don't think I named the channel that, but I named a stream that early on, and it didn't really work. The down but not out. I like the play on words with Eric Blair. What's his name? Oh, come on. Animal Farm, 1984. Eric Blair's his real name. He's known as. I've no idea. Come on. Already brain farts and turn to the internet. I'll race you. Who gets there first? I honestly have got a total mental block. I don't like 2 clicks to get into search. Eric Blair. George Orwell. Fuck's sake. Did you get there before me? Nobody posted George Orwell before me. I got there before you. It's a reference down and out in. Is it called London and Paris or Paris and London? He compares being homeless, being down and out in the 2 cities in a period. I guessed it but wasn't sure, says UK Richie. I had a total mental. It's unusual that I would remember the real name rather than the pen name. Normally the pen name just. I've obviously I've read a few of his books and essays, not just books, but some of his essays. But at school, obviously we did the obvious ones. 1984 and Animal Farm. I think those were the 2 main ones. But some of his other essays, I think I read at A level. Yeah, I mean, he was a great essayist. Maybe it's time I got another copy, and I would. It's the kind of reading that's best done in real world, in paper, even if it's just a paperback. In fact, I would prefer a paperback to hardback for stuff like that. Stuff that you can flick through, you bend, you get you get a better feel of a book. In hardback it's serious, it's official, you have to be sat at a desk for it. There's paperback, you're bending the pages, you're just reading it and absorbing it in your own environment. Maybe you even bend the pages as a bookmark if you're a bit of a scallywag like me. I would never do that with a hardback. I would never bend a page to say that's where I got to. You'd have to have a proper leather bookmark, but that's that's not really me. That's not really now, at least. 1984 was written in 1948. It was that they just swapped the digits when it came to publishing. That doesn't work for very many years. Yeah, written in 48, and they just, what year shall we set it in? Let's just reverse the digits. 48, 84. Let me scroll. Hello, Robert McIntyre. Hello again, my friend. We got quite a few people in for something so soon that had no planning behind it. That's. Part of my impetus for doing this tonight. I was in the mood. I did want to live stream. I haven't got a topic or anything, but part of my impetus was so going way back when I first started. I thought it was magical when I saw that I had 300 hours of viewers in a month. Basically, every day I had 10 hours of viewership on average, average out. And after a while, it got up to 1,000. 1,000 hours per month. So basically 33 hours per day. And it's slacked off again since then. I haven't done the TrampCast normal. I've been a little lax and skipped some of even these. I know they're supposed to be random. The TrampCast Hangouts, they're supposed to be random, but somehow Friday and Sunday became a thing. And I enjoy doing this, so I figured why not have one kind of midday sometime. Maybe not midweek, sorry, midweek sometime. Maybe not a fixed day, but Tuesday. I mean, as I've said, Wednesday is usually going to be off the cards because I'm watching Scruff Dog on a Wednesday evening, Wednesday night. But I mean, I could always do one before him and hand off to him. But Tuesday and Thursday are open, and there are no clashes with people that I know or that I'm involved with. So those are options. And so here we are, Tuesday night. I jumped in and did what I did. 1948 was when government created the British Act, Treason and High Treason. I think we always had high treason. You could be hung for starting a fire in a shipyard, a naval, one of Her Majesty's or His Majesty's shipyards. High treason's always existed. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe they were codified, maybe they were ratified in a different way or worded in a different way, but these things have always existed. Moving against the crown or against the country as a whole. A gunpowder plot. That was treason, wasn't it? I would say high treason. Plotting not only to blow up the king, but all of the lords and MPs. Hold on. Favorite horror movie? Me, Exorits. What is yours? Exorits. That looks like Exorcist misspelled, but I'm not sure. Not a horror movie fan, Robert. Don't have a favourite horror movie because I don't watch horror movies. As a kid, I have revisited them. The black and white 1930s Frankenstein, Dracula, werewolf kind of stuff. Love all of those, but they really they have to be black and white. They have to be those originals. I watched a film not long. Was it called something like I, Frankenstein? It's a modern take on Frankenstein, which I thought was brilliant. The idea that Frankenstein had no soul because he'd been created by man. He was an empty vessel and potentially could have been taken over by demons, having been an empty vessel. But he made decisions and he did the right thing at the right time and was thus enamored with a soul and granted a soul. Is that the way you would put it? I think it was called I, Frankenstein. Really like that. I'm not sure whether you would class it as horror. I watched the whole thing. There was no jump scares. I wasn't frightened at any point. I never liked horror per se. What was the little girl and the Indian burial ground under the house? Poltergeist. Watched that when I was about 10, I guess. I don't know. I watched some random film a while back that was horror, and these kind of ninjas just kept appearing out of nowhere within. I think someone was locked within a school, like a school teacher got locked in a school over a weekend and got harassed or haunted. But these pseudo ninja dressed in black, somersaulting, knife wielding idiots kept just appearing out of nowhere. Made no sense to me, and most horror isn't logical enough for me to. I need logic. Poltergeist at least had the explanation of a fucking Indian burial ground. I need some logic. I can't just have random shit just happening just because it happens. It's not for me. So Scruff Dog is single F. It's just like you've typed it there, except all one word, Scruff Dog, but single F. Couldn't find him. If you're spelling it wrong, you probably won't get it. SCRU single F DOG. God, G and J. Yeah, I got it right, didn't I? G, scruff dog, single word. The icon is a puppy. I think one ear up, one ear down. There's black and white checkerboard across the face, kind of thing. Um, he's technical. He's like Big Clive. Big Clive's in electronics. Electrical. I got to be careful with my electric and electronic. There's a difference. He's an electrical engineer who dabbles in electronics as well. Scruff Dog is a forklift truck engine. I'm using that term. I'm abusing that term. He covers all of the lifting devices: VNA, forklift, cherry pickers, blah blah. He's an engineer on those things. But the hangout, the chat is a lot like this. It's blokes having a beer, hanging out, chatting the shit. He historically would be on the herbalicious side of things. He had given up alcohol for many years, as far as I understand. He's dabbling with it again at the minute. I hope he's okay with that. I hope. I mean, it depends. It depends why he gave it up in the first place. Whether it's just a health thing, just a choice, or whether he needed to give it up because 12 stepping. I don't know, and I'm not gonna chat shit about a friend's possible issues. But it's a hangout. It's just this. He has a few fixed things. So on a Saturday, when he does the one on Saturday, he does it as Clive finishes. So Clive starts at 10 o'clock my time, 9 o'clock UK. Does about an hour and a half, and then Scruff Dog picks up after. And Scruff will take a telephone call. He take an inhalation of herbalaciousness from a device, and we'll carry on from there. And they both do what they call woofles, setting off, blowing lighter fluid, lighter gas through a water and fairy liquid, through water and dish detergent bubble-ish. So they bubble it up with gas and then set it on fire. Woo! Clive just does it in the room. Scruff has a thermal imaging camera on it, and it just goes from there. There's a bloke called Rob who plays piano, or they play a recording of Rob playing the piano while we watch Pussycats. That's Pianos and Pussies. People sending pictures of your dogs and your cats, maybe a little video of 10 or 20 seconds, or food. Lock Watcher likes to send in pictures of pancakes and things. Yeah, no, it's a lot like this, but a bit more organised, a bit more thought put into it. On Wednesday, Scruff Dog will build. Well, he's built Lego things, but he's also built model engines. Real, proper like steam engines or petrol engines, proper like model little miniature engines. So yeah, that is the Scruff Dog of which I speak. It's fun. It's just a hangout just like this, but slightly. He has a few more followers than me. Let me look. I'll put a link in a pinned comment or something after the stream if you like. If you haven't found it. All the original sleeves and on vids. Oh, what did I miss there? I feel like I get them film flesh eaters, etc. Yeah, you see, I'm not a horror guy. Good question though. Phantasm. What's the one I watched with the girl and she's like a vampire? She's got like jaws under her armpits. She's like appears naked on screen or as near naked as she could be. That's a 1970s or 80s film. Life Force, maybe Life Force. But she's got bitey things under her armpits, or maybe even between a crotch. It's been a while. I haven't watched it alive. Eaten Alive. Found him. Big up all the herbalists. Yeah, I mean, each to their own. I don't smoke, and therefore that wipes out most of your opportunity for herbaliciousness. I'm not against. I would try if somebody presented me with what they call the chews, gummies. I would try. I've got nothing against it. My brother reacts badly to that, and my brother had a psychotic episode one time after weed, and doesn't touch it anymore. He literally trashed his own room in the house. I've got no idea what my reaction would be. I've never done it, but I'm not against. I'm not going to look down on anybody. You start going heroin and crack, and then I want nothing to do with you. I got no time, no room for that level of shit. Coke, I would never do. I've known people that have. I've been in situations where I've had to smack people that were on it because they just would not quieten down, would not back down. They've got that Colombian marching powder fucking thing. They just don't know when to fucking stop. I wouldn't do coke. I've known people that do. I've known people that can handle it, and I've known people that go too far on it. I'm borderline on that one. Wouldn't touch it myself. Mary Jane, marijuana. I've in whichever, whether it's bud, leaf, resin. I don't even know. These are just words I'm throwing out. I've got no. These are words I'm throwing out after talking to other people. I don't know what those are. The resin I do because somebody I knew did light it and made it brittle and broke some off and smoked it. In my presence. Not something I've ever done because I don't smoke. I've never taken a single draw of a single cigarette in my entire life, and I intend finishing my life being able to say exactly the same thing. I've got no interest. Tobacco is radioactive. I am not inhaling radioactive shit into my body. I'm just not. Now I'll eat a banana, equally radioactive, but that's. I don't know. I can't always justify the accuracy. I have certain decisions that I've made in life. Most of them follow some kind of logical reasoning, but every now and again something's just emotional, and it's just like, will do this, won't do that, and that's it. You're not going to change my fucking mind. However logical smoking's no more dangerous than eating a banana. Okay, maybe not, but I'm not fucking doing it. Some things are just set in stone. Impressed your tent is still going. It's only been 6 or 7. I don't know whether it's 6 months, 7 months. Might even be 8 months by now. I guess it's 8 months, roughly. It's fine. There's a slit by the doorway, and then there's a broken doorway because dog. We got one cut. We had one slit appear on a wall way back after just 2 or 3 months. Don't know why or how, but a bit of gaffer tape, duct tape, showing my age maybe, but the duct tape on the inside. The duct tape on the outside didn't stick. That fell off the next morning. But that's been fine ever since. Couple of slits in the roof from the arsehole the other month. The stand-up knockdown fist fight that I had for 3 hours. He damaged my tent. Other than that, we're golden. I don't want to tempt fate by saying it, but other than that, we are fucking golden. I'm hoping that we get through winter unscathed, and then sometime, maybe in late spring, early summer, on the assumption that I'm still here, then we put up the new tent. If we can get a solid year plus out of this, get to the beginning of summer, somewhere in, let's say, May, and put the new tent up and cover it with tarps to keep the sun off the tent, because that's where most of the damage comes from, the sun. I'm hoping we can do that, but it's a long shot. We came through autumn. Autumn brings those heavy floods. Autumn and spring, you get it's warm air mixing with cold air. So once it's cold, you don't get the big. When it's warm, you don't get them. It's when it's warm, cold. So the end of summer into spring, and also end of end. Sorry, did I say spring? The end of summer into autumn, you get that warm air and cold air mix, and at the end of spring into summer, you get that mixing of or maybe the end of winter into spring, somewhere there anyway. You're going to get a hot air, warm air mix, and you get more rain. Those are where those are the real challenges, getting through those periods. Now this time around, it was just 2 weeks and two storms. There were 4-day storms. But other than those 2 weeks either end of the year, either spring and autumn, other than that, it's the sun beating down on the plastic and breaking the plastic down. So you put a sacrificial layer in between, you put a tarpaulin in between, and it did the job this year. The tarp's fucked at that end. I'm just leaving it there. Even when it's sunny now, it's a fraction of what it would have been during summer. So there is a big area over there that's receiving sun, and it will be doing damage, but I'd rather the extra tarps that I've got, I would rather hold back. I might end up putting one up later. If that split in the tarp gets much bigger, I might put one up. But I think I've got 2 black ground sheets and 1 big blue tarp in reserve still. I might, before next summer, when we put the new tent up, I might get another big one like this. This was expensive. The tarp that covers the entire tent, or that would have covered the entire tent if I'd put on the right way around. I put on sideways. So I had excess at both sides, and we didn't quite reach the far end. It would have covered from ground to ground, north to south, and east to west. It would have covered the entire tent. It was about €35. I'll get another one of those in spring, or before summer, when we put the other tent up. This is my timeline. This is my head canon. This is not real, but that's kind of what I'm thinking at the minute. Tom just finished dinner and his roommate left a line and a half spliff. That's nice. That's very generous. You guys with the herbaliciousness tend to be quite generous with each other, I note. I learned this from my friend Joby. They're always offering. He's always got people just, oh, you're homeless, here, have this, and he comes back with. When he was here, came back with a couple of days worth. The Spanish are hospitable. Yeah. I love the Spanish people. I wish I saw more of them or had more to do with them. Soul mining. Oh God, now you've got me. If I say Steve, you'll turn out to be a Mike or a Keith or a Dave. I'm going to say soul mining is a Steve. Bear with me. Speaking of 1984 and keeping records, I do have a handle to real world name kind of database. Oh shit. We got a clash on notes. Give us a second, folks. I think my notes on keeping notes on what happened in the day, I've switched devices and they haven't updated. They haven't synchronized before I've typed something. So I need to compare notes and see what's different between 2 versions. I wish it did an automatic diff. But it doesn't. If you've done any kind of computer programming and if you know what diff is, Highlights the differences between two files. And like literally highlights them so you can pick and merge differences across. Chances are this will just be the last couple of lines in the file that I've typed something in that's in one file, not in the other. But every now and again, it's not quite that simple. This looks to be that simple. One note was more up to date than the other. Alright, that's that sorted. Where was I going before that? I was going into the same program, but a different note. The Samsung Notes app I'm really enjoying. People's handles to names. Soul mining is Steve in Warrington. There you go. Look at this. How's the weather in Warrington, my friend? There's Marie. Dump that old thumbnail pic. You look like an axe murdering muppet. Really? I thought I looked good. I thought it was a good look. Hold on. You're talking about my current YouTube thumbnail? Where I've got the blue t-shirt and the hair and with the brown, the suntan on the forehead. I thought that was me looking rather suave. Or are you talking about the one with the glasses that's on the thumbnail to the video? That's a bit fuzzy. I'm not sure why that's so bad. I'm sure I had a better picture before I used it. Maybe it's that one. Right. I don't know whether you're talking about like my icon, my avatar, or the thumbnail for the video. I guess it being a bit blurry doesn't help. I like those coloured glasses. I've still got them. I don't know where, but they're here somewhere. I thought he looked rather dapper. You see, Tommy Tombstone's with me. It works. I take turmeric, cayenne, turmeric, and chia. How did we get there? I'm working back for context. You're talking about health food eating. Okay, maybe I'm talking about when I was talking about the drugs. You're going medication and healthiness. You got rain there next few days. Not that I've seen. I thought we had sun until the end of the week. Give me a second. I'm just going to check now that you've said that. I need to know because I want to patch this door before it rains properly again. The last time I checked, it was pure sunshine until the end of the week. Let me look. Oh, Sunday and Monday. I did halfway through last week. They suggested that this Thursday, Friday, Saturday might have some rain, but that disappeared. It looks like they've just put it back a bit. Let me go to another. This one doesn't give me that much detail. Let me go to a different app. Torrevieja weather. Let me have a look here. This one gives me. Oh, look at that. This one says Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is all rain. Oh, they're like. There's a big chunk of sun there and only 20% chance of rain. So we can ignore. Anything less than 50% I ignore. Saturday's 30s and 40% each hour. They're not showing any sun. This is going to be a struggle, folks. So Friday morning I get some sunshine, maybe. No, Friday afternoon, not Friday morning. Friday afternoon. Oh, Wednesday's no sun. Hold on, Wednesday was showing us cloudy. Oh, that's mainly night. There's sunshine through the day. Thursday's fine. Friday, lots of cloud, bit of sun in the afternoon. Bear that in mind. I can get a top-up Friday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday looks more difficult. Saturday's all cloud. 20 and 30% chance of rain, but they're saying all cloud. Sunday, all cloud. 30, 40, 50% chance of rain. Monday, all cloud. Oh, thunder and lightning there as well. 20, 30, 40, 80% chance of rain. Oh, after 3 or 4 days without charging power, and then rain, I'm going to be bored to shit. 20 millimeters of rain on the Monday. 2 centimeters. That's almost an inch of rain. That's a lot. That's a lot when you're in a field with poor drainage. That's a lot. 3 millimetres Sunday, 1 millimetre Saturday, nothing on Friday. Yeah, Monday's the danger zone. 20 millimetres, folks. It's only that much. But over an entire field, well, over an entire town that washes down and through the field, all the hills and whatever around us. It's not just what falls on the tent, it's not just what falls in the field, it's what falls for like 2 miles that way by 2 miles that way and then gets washed this way. I'm not panicking, but I'm taking notes. I've got cold hands from holding that. What's the temperature now? Hold on. Let me bring you because I got my snood on, but that's just me being gay. It's 12 right now. It's going to fall to 9 in the night. 9 degrees. It's not that cold, really. The metal, the tablet is metal. It's not a plastic. This is a good device. It's a Samsung metal. Cold to hold. It's not too hot to handle, but it's too cold to hold. So yeah, thanks for that, Keith. I didn't know that there was rain on the horizon. Record is lawful, registration is legal. Shit. Lost me again, mate. There's Marie. She says Lawlen. I don't know why. Thumbnail. Okay, it's a thumbnail and stuff. Okay. E6E6Y reads E-baby. Okay, you're commenting on Marie's. You guys, you can edit these if you find that you've got random digits at the end of your name. You can edit that shit away. We went through how to do this a little while ago. Bottom right hand corner of you when you're on YouTube, when you're watching a video, at the bottom right of the page, there's a little picture of you, your logo, your avatar. You click that, takes you to a page. Halfway down the page on the right hand side is a pencil. You click that pencil and that allows you to edit your account. You have your older, longer display name, and there's a shorter display name that's been hidden from you most of the time, which often has this hyphen and then random digits. You can fudge about with what to put in there to make it unique. So if you're Marie and there are other Maries, you won't be allowed to just be at Marie. But you can come up with something unique, at Marie and then a town or a something else on the end that makes you different from everybody else. Maybe some random letters that you choose. Maybe an initial from your surname or a parent's name, or I don't know. But you can go there and make it unique so that in chat you're not at Marie E6E6 baby or whatever was just highlighted. E6E6Y. You get rid of that shit if you want. 15 here is a sign of nature. Where are you? Where's Keith? Do I know where Keith's at? Hold on. That might be in my list. I might not have logged such details. Let's down here, isn't it? Sign of no, all I've got is Keith. I haven't got a location. I'm assuming UK. I'm going to assume Midlands somewhere, but that's just me guessing. Who else is here? We got 12 people here, only 3 or 4 talking in chat. Marie, sign of nature. So we've got Keith, we've got Marie, we got Tommy Tombstone from Norway, but in Spain at the minute, I believe. We got Steve, Soul Mining. I did look that up before, didn't I? I did get you and get you're a Steve. Soul Mining. Warrington. Warrington. In the words of Eddie. What was Eddie called? Eddie Waring. Oh, we got Richie here as well, UK Richie. I think that's everybody. Is that everyone that's commented so far today? Oh, Robert. Sorry, Robert. I forgot Robert. I haven't got an entry for Robert because he's not hiding behind a weird name. He's just himself there on... Terrence is here as well. And Roger was here early on. I haven't heard from him. Are you still here, Roger? Maybe you're just away from keyboard, or maybe you were just popping in to say hi at the start. I'm 40 minutes in. UK Rich is lurking. Sign of Nature's Midlands. I'll just, you don't have to be more specific than that, that's fine. I'll just add it as a note though. Sign of Nature, Keith, Midlands. Can I get the special set of arrows, the double arrows that I use? Midlands, that's okay. Not a Z. I'm sick of missing, I keep missing the shift and hitting the Z. UK Richie is here and lurking. Reed's baby. UK Richie is from Carlisle, but are you in Carlisle now, or you're just from Carlisle? There's a castle, isn't there, in Carlisle? I lived in Penrith for a while, and my dad worked near to Carlisle, and I ended up sat in a van in the front seat of a Ford Transit looking at Carlisle Castle for about 3 hours while my dad was in this building trying to obtain whatever he's trying to obtain. Lovely sunny day, and I'm sat in a van in shade, a little bit cool, a little bit cold actually, but there was the castle. There's green slope down to what would have been the moat, and kids and stuff running around on the grass. Yeah, no, it's a childhood memory that was the same day I was sent for a long stand. Brampton. Mental hospital, maybe. Is that the same Brampton? UK Richie. I got you here somewhere, I think. I do. Yeah. UK Richie. No, I just got my own way. Why can I not do this? This is me stalking you in real time right in front of you. Oh, why has it done that? It's highlighted it in blue. Don't know why. Sign of Nature, East Midlands. And then Steve. Oh, Steve. Hello, Steve. Steve says Derby. Salford in the house. Salford, the twin cities of Manchester and Salford, separated by the Irwell, which I nearly fell in one time, but we won't tell that story. Suffice to say, alcohol was involved. I came out of Salford Central, turn right to go. I'm not going to give all the details. This is where I worked. Come out of Salford Central, turn right, over the road bridge, over the bridge. It's only a slight bridge over the Irwell. It's almost just a fucking puddle at that point. But the blue buildings that you can see on your right-hand side, Raleigh Quays, Customs and Excise. I worked there once upon a time. DM, did you once mention a Swedish bar in Torrevieja? I did. It's called... Oh, it's a Swedish word for on the corner. Basically, the name of the bar translates as on the corner. Parfon. Had the A on a... Oh, that's annoying because I know it so well. I've seen it 100 times. I used to talk to people about it and say the name. It's not plafond. Plafond on the... Yeah, about Oh, 600 metres that way, 600 metres down the road, turn right and 200 metres up the road, and you've got it. It's opposite a bar that used to be called Murphy's, but is now like Bulgarian or Norwegian. Not Bulgarian or Norwegian. That's a bit different. It changed names anyway to something it's not. Used to be Irish, but there's one opposite called something on the corner. Par something. Um, I studied in Salford and stayed on. I was already in Lancaster and I had my choice. I literally anywhere that I selected, I could have gone. I was accepted to all of my choices, but Lancaster was. I was engaged at the time. I was already engaged, and I'd persuaded my wife to give up a job and go to uni. She was having a torrid time at work. I persuaded her to go to uni, and we both got accepted. And we just went locally because we were that little bit older. We had a house already, you know what I mean? We had a house. We weren't married yet. We got married halfway through the second year of uni. Yeah, we did. Yeah, that was funny. This guy turned around halfway through the first year. This guy turned around in lecture theatre and asked her out while I was sat next to her. She said, "That's lovely. I'd love to accompany you. Can I bring my fiance?" Is it fiance? Fiance is the bloke, isn't it? Yeah, he went bright red, turned around, and never. I don't think he ever spoke to us again in the course of university. Johnny, he was called. Ant Tramp time. What? Ant Tramp time parties this summer. Get together for all in the house. Maybe Ant was any tramp time parties this summer. Get together for all in the house. I'm thinking of throwing like an open house a day or three before Christmas, if that's what you're asking. I've done this in the past. We didn't get much uptake. I was a smaller channel at the time, 1 or 200 subs. But just saying to people, if you're in the area and you want to come on down, come down. I'll get some hot dog sausages and some buns or something. I'll stew some onions and I'll put something simple on, and we can have an open house. I don't know how the days fall. I don't know what the days of the week are around Christmas. I haven't worked it out. Where are we? I haven't got a date there. Give me a date. Today's the 9th. So the 11th will be Thursday, therefore Christmas will be a Thursday. Christmas Eve Wednesday, day before Christmas Eve Tuesday. So maybe the Monday or the Tuesday. I'll have an open house, I'll have some nibbles on standby maybe. Obviously I'm not equipped to be feeding masses. But if you come down and bring a case of beer or a bottle of wine or similar, so anyone who is in the area, I'm considering that. Maybe email me or message me if you're interested. Let me know how much interest there might be in any kind of. I've only got 4 chairs out there, so if a whole bunch appears, you might need to bring deck chairs or something similar. Or just stand for an hour while we chat, have a beer, and I assume most people would be arriving by car, and therefore some people won't be drinking much. It's just Spain. Things are a bit more relaxed than some other countries. People can have a can of beer or two and then drive home. That's. I'm not indemnifying anybody, but it's generally. When you sit outside the bus station and you see the Guardia Civil having a whiskey for breakfast before starting their shift, in uniform with the cars parked outside, you have to assume things are a little bit more relaxed than in some other places. Haven't seen any around here, but there are several on the south coast, said Tom. What's that? A Swedish bar. Okay. There's a couple. I mentioned the other day that the English bars are in decline because the English are kind of leaving. They're here less frequently. They're not allowed here as often because of the 90-day rule, 90 out of 180. But then how that falls with people's work and people's whatever other things. But some people are just leaving. Some Brits are just leaving. It's not what it used to be, and the bars that were aimed at even if they weren't owned by English or British, the bars that were aimed at them are retargeting. Some towards Scandinavian, some towards Eastern European. Yeah. I almost had the name. Oh, that's annoying. The bar. I almost had the name of the bar onset. Do you know? Let me see whether I can just type Swedish bar Torrevieja. I can see whether I can find one. I've kind of I've got some words almost in my head, but they're just not quite there. Parhonsket Pask, Swedish bar near meat. That's not how you spell meat. Fucking, if only I could type in a straight line. Whoa, I'm not giving you, no, not hyperfine, fucking. Oh, Robin's Kochen Bar. Robin's Kitchen and Bar. That's not the one I'm thinking of. No, the one near JF's. No, not JF. JF's not the one. It's not here. Svensken par Hornet. There we go, Hornet. There was the word. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Svensken par Hornet. Swedish on the corner. Little Jack Hornet sat in the corner. Do you remember the nursery rhyme, guys? British. Well, Hornet is foreign for corner. So Little Jack Horner was sat in the corner because that's what Horner kind of meant. He was Little Jack Corner, and that's why he was sitting in the corner. Svenska par Hornet. My pronunciation, the O with the two dots with the umlaut above. I don't know. You got those vowels that we don't have. The pa has got a circle like a degree over the A. Svensken par Hornet. It's as close as I'm going to get. Just after Dr. Waxman. All the roads down. So the main road here, the main road is Alfred Nobel. So all of the side roads are named after winners of various Nobel prizes. Alfred Nobel, all the roads, all the side streets are named after Nobel Prize winners. Science and peace, and I don't think I've seen one that was economics, or that I've recognised as being economics. Oh, digging potatoes out of my ears there. There's something in the ear. You can actually feel it, but I won't get it right now. Okay, folks, I am slouching. I'm going to try and sit up a little bit. I'm looking a little dim. I don't know. Are we losing power? I think that the power cable came out of the lamp, and the lamp's losing it a bit. I may assist you just by knocking it up. Oh, we weren't on the middle setting, we were on the bottom setting. I don't know how that happened. Maybe sometime I've been over there and I've knocked it by accident. All right. Scandi British German shops or kiosks. Germans, when I came here in the 90s, Germans were a big thing, a big sector. But then Germany imposed a tax back home on foreign homes. If you had a foreign home, you had to pay a ludicrous tax. So all the Germans sold up and went. You do not get many Germans here. About twice a year, I'll hear someone speaking what I think is German. There are certain areas of Sweden and Norway, I think, which the accent can sound German, but the words don't sound right. But about twice a year, I hear something that sounds like German, but German's not a big thing. Um, Kiosks and newspaper shops and things um, can have a British angle. There are people who bring me British newspapers and things. Bars and kiosks, the drinking bars or ice cream kiosks, not so much. They tend to all be Spanish oriented. Obviously, they get a lot of tourists and things. The further into town centre they go. Um, no, there's not shops aimed at Scandi. There are no Polish. There were when I first arrived here. There are shops that are aimed at Polish. Now there are shops aimed at Russian. I think Russian. They could be Ukrainian. I've got this big thing with the Cyrillic alphabet, and I'm blind to it. I don't know what they are, what they say. But there are a couple of supermarkets along the promenade. Strange place for supermarkets, but there are shops aimed specifically at Russians. Uh, if I just say East Europeans, because I don't know my ass from my elbow with these different. It's not my field. Bring your own tent. Oh, if people wanted to stay, oh, that would be trouble. That would bring the police down on us quickly, wouldn't it? If I had an open house kind of event here and people brought pitched tents overnight. By the way, I haven't shown you. I can't show you Tina. I don't think. I think she's still buried underneath. I have had the Christmas tree on tonight. It's still on the chair, so it still slopes off a bit. I'm just looking at my power usage. I'm down to 79%. That's not going down too rapidly. That's okay. I'll maybe give that another half an hour or hour before I turn it off. But yeah, the Christmas tree has been on. I'm thinking, as we get closer to Christmas, I've got a folding table that's outside. I might move the folding table around and onto the little track here. And I might put the Christmas tree out at night. Just for an hour. And maybe with a bit of a begging card or something, a bowl underneath. I don't know. That seems a bit crass, but I might. Let me put the camera back to me. You get a close up there of my noggin. Do you think it's a bit crass to put out a begging bowl at Christmas? It might be. I think it would be. I don't really do begging, but sometimes needs must. As it says at the top, Christmas is coming and funds are a little. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not struggling. I'm working out how much I will spend over the next month, and to have any sort of Christmas means to spend money. So I've got my regular 20-25 euros a week, however that all averages out when you include phone bills and gas bottles and all of that. Gas bottle in particular is an extra this month. Gonna need to replace that. But when you take my normal 15 or 20 euros a month, you chuck in the phone bill, the gas bottle, whatever. I'm not funded enough to get through Christmas in a nice, and I don't get to have festivities. I'll get by with what I've got. I won't be able to afford like a turkey or even parts of. I'm thinking of going with chicken or even rabbit for my Christmas dinner, because turkeys. Well, I mean, apart from the fact that the Spanish don't really see turkey as being the Christmas dinner, the Christmas thing. There aren't many. I haven't seen any turkey yet. Now, all year long, turkey is the thing that's in the shop here all year long. People say, if turkey's so great, why don't you have it all year long? The Spanish do. Pavo, which derives from peacock in Latin, but a turkey is one name for a turkey in other languages is basically a peacock hen, something like that. Because of the way that the tail feathers fan out, it's kind of quite peacock-esque. So it's pavo. But there's slices like there would normally be in the shops and things here, but there isn't so far. And it would be too early, wouldn't it? But they're not going to be cheap, from what I can tell, based on the prices of portions and things that I've seen. So whether I get to have like an enjoyable Christmas, I'll have a Christmas. Don't get me wrong. I got the potatoes, I got the onions, I've got some carrots, which I think will. Judging how they're going in the fridge so far, they will. If they don't, it's only another euro to get some more. I'll wait till nearer the time and get sprouts and try for parsnips if possible. I haven't seen any yet, but nearer the time they'll probably appear a couple of days before Christmas. I was thinking about splashing out like a fiver on a paper tablecloth to pin to the table and try and make it look a bit more festive when I do it. But I saw a bottle of wine for €3 advertised earlier that looks like a decent wine, decent red. So not just cardboard. Might treat if I can spare €1 or two for a €3 bottle of wine. Do you know that you can still get bottles of wine here for €1? Just over. But yeah. But a €3 one to get something nice. I don't know. I don't know where I went with this. I was talking about my begging at the top of the chat, but that's hold on. Swimming pool. The sea. Who's put what swimming pool? What's that about, Steve? There are bars with swimming pools, if that's where we're going. You got to fight for your right to party, the Beastie Boys. When your mum's just hidden your best porno mag. If anybody remembers when porn was, what's the word that means not digital? Oh, come on, opposite of digital. Anyway, yeah, if anyone remembers before porn was digital, when it came in magazine form. What day rule are you? I don't know what that means. What day rule? Oh yeah, the Eastern Europeans, even yeah, the Swedish like their really heavy breads as well. My friend Christian used to get this bread that one slice and you were full. I mean, it was really heavy and dense, and it would sink a battleship. Yeah. Healing salts, potassium. How did we go on to salt? What did I say something that took us in a direction? What are we doing there? Oh, okay. Well, a Merry Christmas to you too. I'll have to look later at translating usernames to real names. PayPal comes through with real names, doesn't it? But thank you for that donation. I wasn't. Now I feel like I've been grifting for cash, and I was just talking. That makes me feel bad. But thank you. Fight for your right to party. Yeah, Eastern you. Yeah, I know that some of you guys enjoy breads that are really dark and heavy and dense. Healing salts, potassium chlorate. I've got no idea. Crisp. Denlil Hufru. I'm maybe going to catch this on the replay and get a clue. Do prizes, Mike. Paperwork, that gives us 30k each, lol. DSAR. Lost again, mate. Lost again. Avenida Henrik Larsson. Is that a footballer? That sounds like a footballer. Why do I think Arsenal when I hear Henrik Larsson? I don't know where I'm getting that from. I could be pulling it right out my ass. Easiest 30k you'll ever get. Rose, finding Rose. Rose from Leeds. Decorating a Christmas tree and bring Nosy here. Hi, Mike. Hello, Rose. Nice to get joined. I think you missed Friday. Was it Fridays or Sundays? You missed, and you sent a message saying, "Whoops, missed it." I hope you watched it on the playback. I think you got a mention in there. I think you got a mention. Oh, of course, because folks, everybody, all of you, say cheers to Rose, the sponsor of the festivities. She sent me the money and said, buy beer. And we're still spending her money on beer. We are still very much on the first half of the money that she sent us and said spend on beer. So yay, hey Rose. What happened to It's a Rose? No, It's a Flower. Was that when the handle changed, or have you gone in and edited? There's my friend Rosemary. Sign of Nature. Keith is off on one with acronyms and letters that I've got no idea about. ALO, ALA, I don't know what that is. Sounds like the place is overrun with immigrants, says Steve. Immigrants. I mean, Torrevieja. It's it's a tourist town, so it's very multicultural. Mainly Europeans of one flavour or another. Some Eastern. We do have a few Somalis and what have you. The lucky men on the beach. They are a little bit of a problem at times, but in general, I mean they're quite pushy. But I disagree with this. The local authorities brought in a law. You, the customer, get fined if you buy from them. €250, I think it is. So they're really pushing for you not to have anything to do with them. Because they'll lay out a towel or a sheet on the front and try and block the road and force you to stop and look at their handbags, shoes, sunglasses, whatever. But if you buy from them, I mean, I don't know how often it happens, but you can get fined €250. But no, we're a melting pot. Yeah. Even you would have thought the Russians and Ukrainians would have problems with each other, but they don't. The Ukrainians that are here came to avoid war. The Russians that are here came to avoid getting conscripted and put into a war. So they're generally on the same side. They're like, look what our politicians have done. That's not us. That's bad government. Okay, talking to each other. I don't know what the conversation about Leeds is. Are you slagging it off or defending it? I'm not sure. Because you want that 30k DSAR. I don't know what DSAR is, so I'm lost on the conversation, mate. DSAR, don't know. Went to Ellen Road on a couple of occasions. I saw Villa win there. I think it was 3-0. I always like it when Barnsley are playing Leeds. There's some kind of local rivalry. We're not exactly neighbours, but we're not too far away. Analog, it is indeed. Fuck, the opposite of digital. Yeah, we won't. There are ladies present. We won't carry on the porn conversation. But yeah. The Leeds, lovely place, currently alive, Christmas market lights, etc. That's nice. As long as nobody comes driving through the middle. As happened again in Germany recently, yeah. All through France, Switzerland, and Spain, the wine is very reasonable as far as I can see, says Tom. Yeah, it's only Britain where the cheapest shit is £6 a bottle. Everywhere else, wine is a poor person's drink. Wine is for the masses. It's only Britain that views it as some kind of elitist, expensive shit, and you have to. All our alcohol is too expensive, but wine is ridiculously overpriced for what it is. There's no way you should be paying £6, £7, £8, not even euros, but pounds. So add an extra 10% to get your euro price. Best part of a tenner. And you're getting less than a litre because it's sold in bottles at 750 litres. It's the craziest shit ever. That's why I joined a wine club way back and had cases sent to me. Not always been a tramp, folks. Not always been a tramp. I can't remember what the wine club was called, but it actually funded the growing of the wines. The money was ploughed back into vineyards and yeah. God bless you, merry gentlemen. Let nothing you dismay remember. Christmas carols. I'm not a big one for. Skull for dead. Skull for that. Cheers for that. I'm gonna read that as. David, hello David. There's the other David, not the other one that was here the other day, but well, one of the two that were here the other day, but here we go. Saluti for Caral Canute. Salute is salute, that's health, and force. Al Canute, I don't know. It sounds like, I don't know. Beer. Yeah. Rose is a sponsor of the festivities. For anyone just arriving, the Christmas tree. It is still leaning on a chair. I haven't found a platform for it yet. I still think it will end up on the fridge freezer, but the fridge freezer's got a bit of a slope to it at the minute. I did while walking back. You can't see it, but the wire comes from the tree to here on the bed to the EcoFlow, the black and grey thing just here. I caught it as I was walking past and pulled the whole thing over. I had to get back out of bed and go and stand it back up. I would show you Tina, but she's under the covers and asleep, as far as I can tell. Hey, babe? Are you there? Let me reach under the covers. Oh, you're very warm, very toasty warm. Let me see, folks. Let me see whether I can just for you, you understand? Just for you. I'll have to unplug the phone again. Just do this. Don't. Okay, you can't see her. Just give me a minute. I'll point the camera away so she doesn't get the full brightness direct, and then I'll bring you in. Here you are. You're just behind her head. Look. Hello, babe. Hello, babe. You're not going to turn around now and say hello to the peoples? No? Hey. You're very toasty warm. From being under the covers. Toasty warm. Can I trouble you for a bit of a hello to the people? Oh, there you go. That's as good as you're going to get, folks. A little hello to the peoples. Tina? Hello to the peoples. Come on. No. Okay, babe. Do you want to go back under? Tina's going underground. There we go. Okay. Well, cattle truck. I don't know if you heard me. Grunting and snorting while I laughed. That's my Tina girl. She's cute. She's lovely. She's my little hot water bottle. Keeps me warm at night. I am lucky that for once she's at this end. She will gradually work her way down to the other end through the night. You saw that happen the other night, live, I guess. I thought she was here and she was actually down there. I had no idea how she got there. But that's Tina. Whoa, someone said I was in Catalonia and that's all I saw. That was Rose. I was in Catalonia 3 weeks ago. I found it too busy. Loved the markets, visited the church that they have been building for more than... Oh, you're in Barcelona then? Oh no, that's more than a century. That's about 200 or 300 years. That one, isn't it? Um, the Gaudi one. There was a man from Leeds swallowed a packet of seeds. Does that end up with a peculiar feeling and pissing all over the ceiling? Is that one of those ones? Liverpool drew Barnsley in the FA Cup. Did they really? The last time, okay, so when I worked for Customs and Excise, Barnsley knocked out Manchester United and Liverpool out of the FA Cup. Check it out. 1990. Oh, fuck. 7? Maybe? Maybe 8? Somewhere there. I talk about these things like they were yesterday, and then I look at the dates and years, and I think, 30, almost 30 years ago. My leaving present from Customs and Excise, they got me a Barnsley shirt. We got promoted to the Premiership that year. Yeah, we got promoted to the Premiership. Knocked Liverpool and Manchester United out of the FA Cup. And then got relegated in fairly quick succession. I don't think they were in successive years, but fairly quickly. And then the fight back began. All the divisions have changed names since then. They were like first division and second division and third division and stuff. Premiership had probably already happened, but now you've got championship and first division and stuff. I haven't really kept track properly since those days, I don't think. Plenty of growth ahead, son of nature. Scandi wine is also priced like that, £9 minimum for the cheap shit. Yeah, you Scandis are big on your welfare system, and therefore taxation is out of control. The Scandis that are over here, they're on like €1,500 a month pensions. Or basically, they're not even retired. These are benefits. If you're disabled and you're Sweden in particular, I think, but Norway as well, they'll say to certain people, "Why don't you just go abroad? It's cheaper." And so they all come over here with all of the ones with mental health problems. If you're Swedish or Norwegian and you're in Spain and you're not of retirement age, then you're round the fucking twist. They send all of their loons over here. Even the Finns do as well, even the Finnish. The Finns are the craziest of the fucking lot, especially if they're not from the south of Finland. If you bump into anyone from Finland halfway up and above, they are fucking, from the woods, from the forests, they are fucking crazy. Sorry, I hope I don't offend anybody, but the Finns are fucking loons. My friend Ismo, he's from somewhere more normal, but works up at the Arctic Circle or thereabouts. Supply and demand, we can't grow grapes. Yeah, until recently the Brits couldn't. So only from the 70s or 80s onwards we've started to grow a few grapes, but not in any numbers that matter. Stock up, folks. You ain't seen nothing yet. Cost of living prices in shops, the sound of nature. Yeah, I can believe it. I think the man in Leeds swallowed seeds just for a rude rhyme, and that's the basis of limericks, isn't it? Hold on. Adam Smith or Tom Jones? Adam Smith. The market, the silent hand of the market. Tom Jones. The singer? I got no. Lost. Adam Jones. I scroll back a few, see whether I get a context, but there's nothing. I'm going to enjoy watching this one back to see where I got lost. Hold on. Does that jump backwards or forwards? I don't know. I don't even know where we've gone now. And that just... This is ridiculous. Every time I lift my finger, it jumps, and I don't know whether it's jumped forwards or backwards. Stock up, folks. You ain't seen nothing yet. Adam Smith or Tom Jones? Question mark. Lost me. Leaning tree of Torrevieja spelt wrong. A man swallows seeds. I don't know why he swallows. This is like the. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. Heaven knows why, or however that one goes. Take tufts of grass grew out of his ass, and his balls were covered in weeds. Okay, there you go. That was the payoff to the limerick. Premier League, not Premiership. Oh God, we're picking the bones out of shit now, aren't we? I remember when it was just called the First Division. During the Viking era, one could grow grapevine and hemp in Norway and Sweden, at least in the south. Greenland, apparently, allegedly, once was green. Now it seems like Greenland and Iceland are taking the piss out of each other. Greenland is icy and Iceland is green. Even if we could grow, is this growing grapes? The Romance regions where they probably 20% of all arable land for wine. Yeah, yeah. If you're not growing wine, you're growing olives, aren't you? It appears. Growing wine. Fuck. Growing grapes. Yeah. Had to Google about the man who swallowed seeds. A nice English wine recently, but it cost 2 to 3 times more. 2 to 3 times more than the £6 fucking bottle, the minimum price. This is even without, so England doesn't even do the minimum unit pricing, does it? That Scotland has now. 50p a unit. So let's take a bottle of wine at, I'm going to go 15% proof because it's a rounder number than 13. 15, and it's 3/4 of a litre. So it's 10 units of, no, that would be 2/3 would be 10 units. Oh, it wasn't a round number in the end. It ends up as 12 or 13 units. So it has to be £6.50 minimum price by law. Which means there's no point buying the cheap stuff. You might as well buy the better stuff that was going to be £6.50, £7 anyway. Yeah, don't know. That all happened after I left, so I don't know the minimum pricing stuff. But try Amarula from South Africa. I don't know that one. Is that a wine? 20. Hold on. David paid £20 for a bottle of wine. I couldn't. I would become teetotal. You know that I paid what do I pay? £3.70, wasn't it, for a case of 12 beers here? I get a litre, not a bottle, a litre of wine for €1.05 from Mercadona. €1.05. What's that? 90p in English for a litre, not a 750ml, but fucking litre. You can get a bottle of whichever spirit you want for £6. €6. So 750ml or 700ml. Some spirits come with 700, some come with 750. But they're £6, €6. A litre bottle is a tenner. That extra quarter of a litre seems overpriced to me, but that's the... As a mathematician, that extra quarter of a litre to get from 750 up to 1,000ml is overpriced, isn't it? If you get the first 700ml or 750ml for £6, you're paying over the odds to top it up to a litre. I've only just noticed that. From now on, I will just buy multiple of the smaller bottles. I'm not paying €4 extra for 300ml extra or 250ml extra. That's a rip-off. Do not buy litre bottles in Spain. Stick with the fucking standard bottle and just get more of them. Steve Atkins had a bottle of Bolivian wine once. Did it have rugby players in it? Was that Bolivia? It might have been. Was that a restaurant on the shore of Lake Titicaca? Wow. You are well travelled, sir. $12 a bottle of water in Vegas. Yeah, most fucking airports, mate. I mean, that's fuck. We've all been stuck in airports and being ripped off for fucking water. Wine is fine, but liquor is quicker. Doing my bit to save the UK, occasionally to save the UK economy. Oh, it's all Trump's fault. Now we've gone political. Orange man bad. UK Richie's got to head off soon. It's been a long day. Okay, mate, no worries. Dip out whenever you need. I'll keep going for a little while. As long as chat's here and people are here. Folks, I don't think I've asked yet. Thumbs up if you haven't already. Always appreciated. I assume the lurkers, I don't know whether the lurkers are regulars who know the score or if you're new here. If you're new here and you've just seen the thumbnail posted out on the internet and you've dropped in. I'm a homeless guy in a tent in a country where I don't speak the language or don't speak much of the language. I am Delta Mike. Or at least my initials are DM, and that's Delta Mike in the NATO phonetic alphabet. I am homeless. Some would say tramp, hobo, vagrant, an indigent person, a person of no fixed abode. Some might say a bum. I wouldn't, but there you go. Someone who lives rough on the streets, or in my case, in a field. And nowadays in a tent. I did spend 5 months without a tent initially, but then I built a place, and we've built from there. And then some people helped me, and I got a phone, I got online, and I reached out for help, and you guys arrived. And I do my best to provide updates on my circumstances, provide a bit of entertainment, a bit of repartee. Yeah. And in exchange, I ask for an occasional donation. Nothing too much, only what you can afford, only if you can afford it. And if you can't, that's not a problem. Thumbs ups, subscribe, and or tell other people. Do the share thing. Not a lot of people do the share thing, but it's always appreciated if somebody does. And we take it from there. Over here, I'm going to show you my Christmas tree. I'm only showing this now because I'm about to turn it off. It uses too much power. I am in a field, but I do have electricity, not a proper real supply. This little magic box here. The little magic box here is called an EcoFlow. EcoFlow River 2. Let me see if I can just turn it this way a little bit. Oh, the numbers are all reversed for you, aren't they? That's not great. Are they? No, they're not reversed. Oh, they're only reversed when I use the selfie camera. This way, okay. So, it's 74% charged. No power coming in, and there are 2 watts going out, it says. But it leaves off an important point. Over here, that's a proper plug socket, 220 volts, to power the Christmas tree. This has a 30-watt overhead. So just having this on for an hour will use 30 watt hours. Plus whatever the tree actually takes. So it's a little bit deceptive. It has USB ports. Where are we? USB ports down here. And a 12 volt socket that can power other things. That's my power. I have a solar panel outside, 100 watt solar power. That's how I live, with some electricity in a field to power my Christmas lights here and my my lantern, my lamp over there. It is sat, the lamp is, as is tradition, is sat on top of 3 cans of beer, as well as the one that I'm about to finish. No, I'm not. I'm about here. I'm nowhere near finishing because we're only an hour and a half in. Okay. This is the pattern usually. In the first 3 hours or 2 hours and 2.5 hours, something like that, I'll drink 1 can of beer. And then it gets a little bit faster. Whoa! Oh no. Do you guys hear that? When this socket gets cold, when this gets cold, it thinks it's wet, and it makes horrible noises and won't charge. It's not that cold. I don't know why it's doing it now. Let me try again. Chances are it won't. Okay, it's charging for now. Chances are it will do that again within the next minute or 2. That's not great. Sorry about that. Because it vibrates as well as making the noise. I get that in the morning. I might have the tablet on to charge, and then I need to charge the phone, and you get that whole it mistakes cold for moisture. I don't know why. I guess there's a link somewhere, isn't there, between cold and moisture, because condensation. Yes, this late shift gets later, lol. Yeah. Mike was the first to get locked out, so successful. Others share the same experience ever since. Mike was the first. Hold on, do I even follow what that says? Sometimes, Keith, these are just a bunch of words and I don't. Mike was the first to get locked out so successfully. Others share the same experience ever since. Oh, banks. Okay, locked out of banking. I don't know if I was the first. Yeah, I guess afterwards others got more media coverage, didn't they? Matey Boy, Reform. What's he called? The guy that spearheaded the Leave campaign. Oh, I've lost words. The head just doesn't fucking work. Banks, thanks. Farage, Nigel Garage, Nigel Garage, Nigel Farage. He got debanked. That got a lot of attention. Some other people got debanked and it got attention. Me, I wrote directly to financial journalists and got no coverage. Nobody wanted to look at me. I contacted financial journalists asking for help, and I then got contacted by a random Daily Mail journalist, and I don't trust. If it had been a financial journalist, I would have gone along with it. Some random journalists can turn on you and portray the story in a whole different fucking light. So I didn't. I've seen other people get bitten by journalists. I didn't. Some random journalist that doesn't have a reputation in the financial industry. I was looking for one that would pull banks into line, get some action, get something done. Like a Martin Lewis, or no, that's not his name. Is it? It might be. I was looking for them guys. Oh, the reason I showed you the tree was because I was about to turn it off. Let me turn it actually off. I am on 73%. That's easily enough to get through the... It looks like the back end of this week, I've got to be careful about power, doesn't it, folks? That Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday stuff is a bit... That's going to be a bit of a battle. To get through 3 or 4 days with minimal sun. I should have silenced this phone before that. But yeah, the rest of this week's going to be fun. We're only on Tuesday, aren't we? It might be Wednesday by now, might it? Just. We're 9 minutes into Wednesday morning. My time in Spain. Another hour for you in the UK. Another 5 hours. 6 hours. No, something like that. 6 hours in east coast of the US. Have we got any of my Yanks or Canuck friends in? I don't think we have. No Farmer or Frank Nadoberty or any of the others from the other side of the pond. You keep saying DSAR like I know what it means. This is like one of these data breach things or a data request or I'm not sure what DSAR. Maybe you're even just making up your own language. I've got no clue. That's not the right button. Give me a type there. Then I have to type there. DSAR meaning. Data subject access request. Okay. So it's like a FOIA. It's a freedom of information thing. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. You're saying that if I go to my bank and make them produce the data they have on me, it'll make them realise that I've got a case against them. Maybe. Whoa. What's all this? No! Rose, no, 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 no. You're a hard-working lady. You don't want to be doing that. That's twice. Isn't that twice within a week? That's too much, darling. No, don't do that again. You might force me to push the refund button, and then PayPal lose their fees. Thank you, darling, but you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. You're working for your money. I don't want you giving it all to me. Bank your power pun. That's going to be pun intended. Bank your power, pun intended. Yeah. Oh yes. I do have a couple of. I got power banks. One's got absolutely no weight to it. It tells me it's fully charged, and I plug something in, and the last light starts flickering straight away, like it stores nothing. I got another that I can't plug in and put power into, but it works from solar. Only once this month. You gave me the money for the beer like just over a week ago. What are you on about? Only once this month. It might have been birthday, mate. So you're saying you're drawing a distinction between like November 28th and 29th and now, like they're miles apart. They're only 10 days apart. I need more lights for my tree. I'm off to Tesco at this time of night. Do Tesco still do late night openings? Data is the new gold mine. Data subject access request gives you evidence to use against them, lol. Catch you later, Rose, but you are a naughty girl. I was about to say someone should smack your bum, but I shouldn't be. In this day and age, that would be considered sexist or inappropriate to even say it. But then again, it's me, so I'll probably say it anyway. You got a 24-hour Tesco's near you. My ex worked for Tesco's for a while, and I thought that'd gone with the Dodos, the 24-hour stuff. She was a delivery driver that got hauled into shelf stacking once or twice. When there was no deliveries to be done and stuff, but I didn't know that. I thought the 24-hour stuff had gone. COVID wiped out a lot of the late night stuff. I didn't know it had come back. But then I'm not in the country, so what do I know? Ta-da, Rose. Okay, folks, I think I'm up to date. With you. We're on 1 hour 40. And I did start at a weird time tonight. I started at past rather than on the hour, didn't I? Why did I do that? It was a little bit last minute. It was 9:30. I thought that 10 o'clock was too soon. I need a time to drag eco flows and wire. You wouldn't believe the amount of stress and trouble involved in dragging the wires over here and unplugging from other things like the fridge freezer thing. And the tennis racket's not turned on. Is the tennis racket not plugged in? It's not, is it? The tennis racket of death isn't over here. You see, normally I would have brought that wire over, but I was being careful about the Christmas tree wire. Oh, that's a bit different. That's a bit unusual. It's taken me 1 hour and 40 minutes to realise that I haven't got the bright blue light from the tennis racket shining away. I think on Sunday night it killed one fly all night. So I guess it's not a necessary. Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah, all day Asda rather than Tesco, is it? Is that what you said? Message retracted. Yeah, okay. All leads, aren't we? Okay. I'm going to watch this back and wonder what the fuck half of you are on about. Or maybe I'll get a clue and not be as lost as I am half the time here. Let's get this beer finished. It's annoying me that it's sat here this long. Save your power. We're okay for now. It's was it Friday, Saturday, Sunday? As long as I get topped up before then, it's only 250 watt hours, a quarter of a kilowatt hour. It's half of a normal car battery. Is that no? Hold on. Normal car batteries are about 100 amps, 12 volts, so 1.2 kilowatt hours. Oh yeah, but you only get to use half of it. Lead acid. So technically 1.2 kilowatt hours. But lead acid, you only get to use half before you start damaging it. So you only get 500 or 600 watt hours. This is 250, so it's half of what a normal lead acid battery would give you. But you can charge it forever. You can recharge it for about 10 years before you lose 10% or 20% of the initial storage. It basically, it's going to break from other things rather than the decomposition of the battery. What was I going to look for? The weather at the end of this week. This only shows Sunday and Monday has been a problem, but the other forecast, I don't like the extra click. That really is annoying the shit out of me. This one, Friday morning dark, well, and then rain again late, but there's a 4-hour window of sunshine in the middle. So Friday afternoons should be fine. Got to make sure I'm fully topped up by 3 or 4 o'clock on Friday. Saturday's dark all day, Sunday's dark all day, Monday's dark and rainy with thunderstorms at points. I'll be fucked by then. I can't make the power that I have eke out that long. I can't. From Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, Monday afternoon, through to Tuesday morning, that's too long. Who have I got here? I've got friends. Who can charge my EcoFlow? Maybe one of the neighbours. Maybe I can just ask them just to plug it in for an hour one day. If somebody plugged it in, let's say on a Sunday morning, so I've gone through Saturday into Sunday, maybe Sunday or beginning of Monday. If somebody nearby would charge it for me for an hour, I might be able to make it for. Without that, by make it, I just mean comfortably, like by having access to YouTube or the internet or whatever. I'm going to survive. I'm not going to be taken out by dark clouds or rain. I'm just looking to get through comfortably with still having been able to play Christmas carols. I've been watching a lot of these Christmas films. I said this the other day. I'm very gay. Hallmark Christmas films. I'm a sucker for romance. I know. A tramp in a field that's a romantic. Especially around Christmas, always around Christmas. And let's face it, folks, there's nothing as romantic as Die Hard. It is the ultimate Christmas film. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what Bruce says. I don't care what the British public say. Die Hard is a Christmas film. It's the ultimate Christmas. Die Hard 2 is probably slightly more of a Christmas film. But only slightly. I shouldn't have crushed it. This should have gone in. This should have replaced the can that's under the. I've got a bit. That sounds bad, doesn't it? Metal on metal. I got a bin bag over there. It's full. I've been using the same bin bag for about a month. It's full almost to the brim, and I'm throwing them and they're landing in the top. So the cans are landing on cans. I don't deny it. I cannot lie. I'm like George Washington. Except he had wooden teeth. I've just got no teeth. Well, I do. They're in a bag over there. Mine are plastic. And I haven't worn them in about 5 years. Cheers! Especially to everyone who's hit the thumbs up. 11 people here currently. 15 have hit the thumbs up. People cycle in and out. I know this to be the case. Most people watch less than about an hour. But there are the hardcore of you that stick with me for a while. Let me see whether I can just adjust the. Oh, it's not just pillows. There's a blanket back here behind me. I'm surprisingly not cold tonight. What temperature did we say it was? I don't remember. Give me a second. I know that the tablet feels cold. 11, yeah, okay, so it's not particularly warm. We had a night the other day that was 14 still. This is 11, going to fall to 8 or 9 by morning. But I've already put the jumper on. I've got the snood on, so I'm not really feeling it. The tent feels wet on the inside. You know when something's cold and you can't tell whether it's just cold or is it actually damp. I think there's actual condensation on there, which would, again, when I plugged the phone in before and it started saying, it said there was water in the socket, didn't it? It's the cool. You get the condensation. Where's the dew point? This one doesn't give the dew point. That's the other forecast. Let's go there. Okay, hold on. The air is dry. The dew point is 9 degrees. Okay? 9 degrees is the dew point, and it says it's 11. But here, in this hollow where we are at the bottom of these hills and on the sea front, it's often 2 or 3 degrees cooler than the forecast says. That's close enough for it to be wet here. It's 11 and the dew point's 9. So it could well. That's the forecast for the area, but we're at the bottom of this dip by the coast, by the water. It's often colder than it says. So who knows? Maybe that is actually wet, not just cold. Feels it. But I'm not an expert. I'm gonna have to pick this up, folks. I can't just keep laying over and leaning over that way. Just give me a second. I'll try and do this manually. Save your power. There's Rose talking about ASDA. ALAW. Get car battery for reserves. No. Lead acid's not the way to go. My ideal way back, I'm kind of sad that at the time I only had enough to buy what I bought. Don't get me wrong, fantastic piece of kit, the EcoFlow River 2, but I bought the base model. There were models with 500 watt hours and 750, maybe even a kilowatt hour. I don't quite remember. My aspiration at the time would have been to buy the EcoFlow Delta. The Delta is the beast of a machine. That was their original beast of a machine. It's amazing how rapidly this field has developed in this time. But the EcoFlow Delta would have been, yeah. You get them now with 2 kilowatt hours, 3 kilowatt hours, I think even up to 4 kilowatt hours. Beast of a machine. And here I am on a quarter of a kilowatt hour. But I'm a man in a tent. Beggars, as Keith Chegwin found out, beggars can't be boozers. No, beggars can't be choosers. Hold on. Mr. Anderson, David Anderson, Atari. Apologies for Sunday. Deserve the caning, though I had best intentions at heart. Hey, I said during the stream, I had no ill will. I think my mod went a little bit over, but I'd read out and answered every question, every point, so I don't think any harm was done overall. But my choice wouldn't have been to delete every post you made, maybe the last one or two. But hey, we're okay, mate. We're okay. All good. Out the cannon into the piss reservoir, says Sign of Nature. I got no idea what that means. It's a out of the frying pan into the fire kind of comment, but loses me a bit. 15 degrees where Sign of Nature is, which is Midlands if I remember correctly. So hold on. So warmer there than here, are you saying? That's no good. Ad free here, that's worth a big like. Yeah, folks, yeah, there are no ads on my channel. I'm not monetized. If you do see an ad, that's just YouTube taking the piss. I watch some channels and it's an ad every fucking 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Asmongold is almost unwatchable because of the ads. I watch some of these sci-fi stories as well, some sci-fi fiction stuff. And again, there's 2 minutes of ads every 10 minutes. And if you're watching an hour-long story, and you're having to reach over, hit skip, it sounds like a first world problem, doesn't it? But I put these things on as I'm trying to nod off to sleep. But some of these ads will go on for 10 minutes if you don't stop them. My husband's overweight and wants to do... Should he go to the gym? No, he should do Tai Chi. And those adverts, how does he start? Bam, bam. No, let's not do that. Let's do Tai Chi walking. Those adverts will run for 10 minutes if you don't fucking press skip. They go on forever. You're asleep and you've got this, you were listening to a story, you're half asleep, you don't really want to stick your arm out into the cold. And all you've got is this fucking Tai Chi walking, brainwashing you in your sleep. It's annoying as shit. Tina's okay. Hey, babe, you're running in your sleep. You can't run in real life, so you're running in your sleepies. That's okay. Can I cuddle? Oh, you're lovely and toasty warm. Tina's toasty warm. It's my girl. Okay, babe. You run free. You run free, darling. This is probably going to be your last Christmas, isn't it? I said this last Christmas, actually. I really did. I'm really surprised she's still here. The way her body was deteriorating. But let's not get... Okay. I was just saying, let's not get all morbid and go off on one, and I don't know whether you heard any of what I said. Tom gets fewer ads between midnight and 6. Maybe. I also have dozens of ad-free channels to pick from in my subscriptions. Chats, music, films, books, all sorts. Okay. If I'm presented with an ad, I usually terminate the app and reload from history. Takes 2 seconds. Yeah, I do that a lot. If an ad comes up, and you can see the progress bar, if I can tell the ad's going to be over in 5 seconds, usually they'll show 2, one after the other. I'll allow 2 lots of 5 seconds. But if I get one, you get one that pops up, and the progress bar moves across so fucking slow. You're going to be sat there for like between 30 seconds and a minute. And that's just for the first ad. There's a second one to come. I let it get about a third of the way across and I close that shit down. And like you say, I go click on my picture at the bottom and go into my history and I'll select the same video I was already watching. And usually it'll pop up straight back into the video without another ad. Sometimes it'll pop an ad up and this time it will be the 5-second one. And I'll let that go. But I'm not sitting there watching 2 lots of 30-second plus adverts. Just that an unskip. Just no. Fuck off. No, it's not happening. And the advertisers need to learn this, and YouTube need to learn this. They're getting to YouTube are trying to push their ad-free version, their YouTube Plus or Prime or whatever they call the fucking thing. I think it's in. Oh, I can't do that here now. They've placed a button when you've got the thumbs up, thumbs down, and all those other buttons to bring up chat and comments and all the other things. There's a button there to go ad free. They're making the ads more insidious to push you towards paying. What is it, 14 or 15 a month to go ad free? I got no. That's not worth that to me. It's not worth 14 or 15 pounds or euros or whatever. Ad block on YouTube gets you negative consequences nowadays. It gets you blocked or not banned, but it brings you a negative outcome. The rest of the internet, yeah, but what YouTube push out in their videos, you don't get any real say over. You watch a lot of YouTube and the hold on, and the adverts seem fewer. Just me. There are certain actions you can do. I find that by, like I said, when a long advert comes out, closing down the stream, going back out, and if you're on the page where you clicked to get the stream, then just click it again. But if you have to, go to your history and resume. If you do that enough, it reduces the adverts. It might not reduce the number, but you don't get those 60-second unfucking skippable things. You get the ones that just zip along in 5 seconds and then you can skip. If you're not there to skip, the advert will play for fucking 10 minutes. I mean, it's... But my problem with the ads is that they're all shite. It's not that there are ads. It's that they're so scammy. This device that they don't want you to know about will heat your whole house in 30 seconds and cost nothing. It's a 500 watt heater. It'll take you an hour to heat my tent or to heat the bedroom in my tent. It's not going to heat a house in 90 seconds. But it's 100% efficient. Yeah. So is every resistive heater ever. You pump electric in and it gets turned to heat because big resistor. The glowing orange bars in the electric fire, they're 100% efficient. Every piece of electric you throw at it gets turned into heat. So the fact that some student in South Africa or some guys that worked at Tesla or some guys that used to work at NASA, scams, they're all scams. That 500 watt heater pumps out 500 watts of heat. That's a quarter of what your average electric fire does anyway. Or your oil-filled radiator. The oil-filled radiator pumps it out more slowly because it's putting heat into like a heat sink. Then that's going to get, it's a mass, a thermal mass. It's going to put that heat out again later, even after it's turned off. But they're all doing exactly the same thing. They're using resistive heat to heat shit up, and that heat will come out. It might come out more slowly because it's getting put into an oil thing first. But a 2 kilowatt hour or 3 kilowatt hour in the UK oil-filled radiator is going to put out 6 times the amount of heat as a 500 watt heat. I mean, that's just maths. 3 kilowatts versus 500 watts. It's just, the watts cost, the kilowatt hours cost what they cost. It's not going to heat your house in 90 seconds for no money. They're a scam. Kind of. I mean, they're legit for what they are. They are small heaters and they will heat a small room. Put them in the bathroom. It'll be marvellous. It'll be lovely and warm when you walk in. That's fine. It's a small room. Next room in the house kind of thing. Claiming they're going to heat a house in 90 seconds. Claiming that Tai Chi walking will lose all this weight by walking around really, really slowly. Claiming that Tai Chi is better than the gym. I've covered 90% of the scam ads just here, haven't I? I mean, name the other scam ads? What are the other bad ads on YouTube? See if you can remind me of any that I've forgotten. Oh, when O'Reilly, is that O'Reilly or O'Reilly? Which way's it gone? It's jumped the wrong way. I'm scrolling the wrong way. When I really want to support a small channel or in the rare event an ad is interesting, I may let it play. But I find the frequency increases, so better to fight it stubbornly every time. I'm with you, Tom. I'm with you, mate. They are an annoyance. Now, video is expensive to put out. The amount of bandwidth taken is expensive. So I do have some sympathy with YouTube. But as part of Google, they get it cheaper than anybody else on the planet. I've lost there. Here we go. No. Oh, I have fewer ads. Okay, I'm presented with how you terminate. I'm working forwards. Ad blocks are useless. Okay. I got that. I did get that. Hold on. When I really want frequency, so better to fight it. And if it's not a scam, it's subliminal programming aimed at your perspective. Yeah, I guess. Sounds like hot air to me. These heaters, yeah, they're see, this is the middle ground. Can you call them a scam? They are a heater and they do work and they put out the heat that they say they put out. But the advert claims they're going to heat your whole house in 90 seconds, and this is why the government is trying to suppress them. Nobody wants you to know. That's the scam. The advertising. For a mini heater, it's fine. Put it in a bedroom, kid's box room. You know, if you got if you got a kid in a single bedroom, yeah, fine. It'll heat the air. The problem is it won't heat the walls. The walls being cold will quickly, as soon as you turn it off, there's no heat anymore because the cold walls will absorb all of the heat from the air. This is why central heating and stuff is better. It pumps out a shit ton of heat and it actually heats the brickwork. It heats the house, stops the damp. Something that just heats the air in the bedroom and only does it while it's turned on, and as soon as you turn it off, it's cold again. I put modern infrared heaters in my room ceilings. Waste of money, takes 1200 watts heater in kitchen. Again, it's the infrared ones. We used to have one in the bathroom when I was a kid. You pulled the cord and the thing hummed and sent out the infrared. It'll heat you when you're in there. But the problem with heat is the walls. If the walls in any room, let's say that you've got 2 ton of brick. I don't know the numbers. I'm pulling a number out my ass. I don't know how many tons of bricks there are in a typical room. Bricks and plaster and whatever. But if you don't heat those up first, they're going to sap whatever heat you put in the room out. You can't just heat the air. You can't just heat you. You got to heat the walls. You put heat in, and over time, half of it will radiate back into the house, back into the room. Half will radiate outwards, probably. But that's without doing that, everything's going to get damp and nasty and moist and moist. Some people don't like that word. You got to heat the walls. If all you're doing is heating the air, and infrared's even worse because all that's doing is heating you. It's not even heating the air. It's a form of radiation. It passes through air. Yeah, you can heat you, and it's like you wear a hot water bottle. You're going to be warm for a while, but the room's still fucking cold, and you're going to get damp in the corner, especially in bathrooms and things. Yeah, it's. Anyone got a spare jetpack? Jetpack. King of the Rocket Man, he had a jetpack, didn't he? Underfloor heating is a waste, some say. I don't know about a waste. It's that same thing. You do have to, especially on the ground floor where concrete, like in a cellar or in the kitchen, you got to heat the floor. It's not a waste, but it's a commitment. Yeah, I don't know. I'd call it. I don't know. I'd call it a waste. But you gotta heat that thermal mass. That block of concrete has to get warm. You get that block of concrete warm, and that kitchen will be warm forever. But you got that initial. You got to pump some fucking heat in there first. This is why back in the day, when I was a kid in the 70s, you didn't live in the living room. Salon. People had different words. It was a salon. It was a family room. It was the living room. You didn't live. You lived in the dining room or kitchen. If you didn't have a dining room, you had a bigger kitchen. Where the heat was, where the cooker was. The cooker kept you warm. That was your main heat source for a lot of people in the house. When I was the living room was for Sundays. It was for Sunday best, or if guests or if family or friends came around, you'd go in the living room. Other than that, we walked through it to get to the stairs and go upstairs for for the toilet, for the bathroom. We lived downstairs, but we lived in the dining room. We sat around the table, and we had to turn the chairs so that we could see the TV, which was in a corner there. And on a Sunday, we brought the TV through into the living room. The TV didn't live in the living room. We had to move it through. Because we didn't have multiple TVs in the house, not to begin with. Not at the start of the 70s. But the kitchen, the dining room, had a cement floor. So let me explain. The dining room on Barnsley Road where we lived, 100 Barnsley Road. What became the dining room was initially the kitchen. Parents built an extension. I actually helped, as 7-year-olds do. I helped dig the foundations. There was a, oh God. So what became the dining room, the initial kitchen was it was a full width of the house, and then we built an extension that was only half we couldn't block the neighbour's window. So the extension, which became the kitchen, was only half the width, and on the cement platform that was put alongside, mine and my sister's feet, we pressed into the cement and had our names and the year written in the concrete, in the cement, in the concrete next to it. I helped build that place. That's my claim to fame. 100 Barnsley Road had an extension, and I helped build it. We helped literally dig the foundations out. But so what was formerly the kitchen became the dining room, and then the kitchen was in front. But I remember before the extension, when it was just the kitchen but they had a dining table. It was a kitchen dining table, and everyone was there, and that was the room that you sat in day after day, night after night. The living room was for special. But yeah, you got to heat that. If you don't heat that concrete, if you don't heat that concrete, it'll be cold forever. Your friend in the Isle of Man reviewed one with relatively good feedback. My friend in the Isle of Man, Big Clive, maybe. Big Clive? He's in the Isle of Man. I'm not sure. Sounds like a job for Ted Moult, with his feather and the double glazing. Everest, wasn't it? Yeah. I used to mix up Ted Moult with Eddie Waring. I did. Walls are a heat sink. They are if you can get the heat into them, yeah. But obviously they're initially for that first month. If you move into a house that's not had anybody in it for a while, it's going to take you forever to get those things heated up. What's the jetpack for? Heat or hover? Heat probably in the first instance. Hey Tina. My ski suit is my lowest wattage. A ski suit. Heating is this an electric one? Is this one you plug into a battery and it warms up? Because there are such things, aren't there? Clothing with built-in wiring nowadays. Great Escape. Escape to Victory. Escape to Victory. That was that the football one with Pele and Sylvester Stallone? Michael Caine? Maybe? Escape to Victory. Nearer to Barnsley. Well, yeah, Leeds. Leeds and Sheffield, and Barnsley's halfway between the two, isn't it? Yeah. We could see our breath going to bed, many laser covers on. But yeah, we went to bed being able to see our breath, pulling multiple covers over. Woke up in the morning with a frost pattern on the window. It looks like leaves or a forest or whatever. You could take a coin and scrape the ice, or your thumbnail and scrape the ice off the window. Before double glazing, before central heating. Yeah, all of the above. Yeah. Hope everyone gets a heat wave on Christmas Day. Isn't it heat that's causing problems at the Arctic at the minute? Extra heat at the Arctic is weakening the Arctic mass. What's it called? The Arctic vacuum or what? And now instead of pulling in tight with low pressure, and keeping the jet stream up there. The jet stream's wandering and coming down south. And that's why America's is going to get hit with the Arctic inversion, whatever they're calling it. Can I see whether I can move this light again? I did move it the other day to some effect, but today... No, the EcoFlow's further away. That's not going to work. Sorry, folks. I tried. Oh, I can... Hold on. Wait a minute now. Oh, no, it is on the bright... No, that's the brightest setting. Hold on. I got to be careful. I'm tangled with... Give us a second. Oh, hand in front of the camera. Excuse me. That's a little bit more secure, more stable. I think we get a bit more light. These are a little bit dim. I don't know. Maybe if I just turn this way a little bit, I can be a bit brighter. Where are we, folks? Lived in council houses with no central heating when I was a kid. Could be bloody cold. Yeah. In winter in Vienna. Yeah. Council houses, no, okay, we went in a council house, but there was no central heating, there was no double glazing. For Wales, you got running water. I remember that we moved into a house that was newly plumbed, so instead of going out to an outhouse, we had running water indoors. Bathroom above the kitchen, so you only have to bring the water to one part of the house. There's a common pattern. Foreigners ask, why do we have the washing machines in the kitchen? You got two rooms that have got running water, the bathroom and the kitchen. The bathroom's not allowed electricity because safety. We do safety in the UK when it comes to electric and water. That's why we have the safest plugs in the world and no plugs within bathrooms. Not even the light switch. And if you do have light, it's the pole socket is safer than an actual switch. So switches on the outside of the bathroom or a pull cord within, because it's a different style of protection. You can't get electrocuted down a cotton cord. Safety, folks. But yeah, when you ask why is the washing machine within the kit, because there's no other room with water. There's the bathroom's got running water, but you're not allowed electricity. And the kitchen's got running water and has electricity. Where else are you going to put it? You need water and electricity, and it's the only room left. Was about to have a smoke, and the cat jumps on my lap. Whose cat is it, Tom? You're in digs, yeah? You're in accommodation, hostelry of some description. Interesting about rooms and living spaces. Yeah, honestly, the living room, the salon, a lot of people call it, was for special occasions only. Family and guests. If someone knocked at the front door and came in, then you went into the living room. Other than that, literally, we moved the television from the dining room to the living room at the weekend. It was that simple. Moving the TV backwards and forwards. This was a big TV, Tandberg, wooden cabinet. It was a wooden TV, wooden cabinet with a big bent screen. You know, the full. Oh yeah, the full tube, the cathode ray tube. Don't bring big magnets near your TV. Are British row houses designed with the living room upstairs, or am I misunderstanding? Some. So row houses, we have two types of houses in rows. In a city, then you'll get a whole street of just townhouses, they might be called. In more working class areas, the housing tend to be built onto hills and was terraced into the hill. So like a terrace where they grow vines and things, cut out the soil and flatten out and make steps. And a row of houses would be down. Some will have the living room upstairs and the bedrooms down. There were a few of those around the Morecambe and Lancaster kind of area. It's not. It's not the standard. It's not the norm, but it's not entirely impossible. It's not. It's not so unusual. It would be um, commented on, I guess. Yeah. So it's not a fixed thing, but it does happen. Yeah. In most of the downstairs, I guess it's more common. The standard thing, your kitchen and your living room are downstairs, bedrooms upstairs. But it's not unheard of to reverse it. Um, I've been to houses where the living room and kitchen are upstairs, and the downstairs got the toilet and the bathroom and at least some of the bedrooms downstairs. My sister lived in a place that the bathroom was downstairs. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Living room upstairs. Get the footings in where you are. You've claimed the land now. It's yours. Build, baby, build. Um, no. I've said from the off, I have no intention of stealing this whole landowner's property. I'm happy to have the use of the land for my limited needs. I don't wish to do any damage. I don't wish to make a claim. Even if the law might allow it, and I don't think after such a short time, I don't think 3 years is enough for what's it called? Adverse possession is the legal term in Britain. I don't know. I don't know what Spain's rules even are on adverse possession. I'm here. I'm in the open. I'm living in it as if I was the owner, but I have no. I have no will to steal this man's land. That's not who I am. Rhubarb Triangle covers Barnsley roughly, I think, and we might be just outside it, but yeah, that is a thing in Yorkshire. Um, yeah, they say that in the dark you can hear rhubarb grow in some of the hot houses where they deliberately kind of force farm it. You can actually hear it grow. Yeah, yeah, it's a common thing, the adverse possession. If you're on land and there is no owner or no owner can be traced, to see society. I've tried explaining this to Americans and they don't get it. They say if you're on their land, they're going to shoot you. Um, in Europe, they want land to be used, to be utilized. And so if some land is just going spare, if it's left fallow, if it's left derelict, society would rather that somebody made proper good use of it. And so if you sit on it, we're not talking squatters' rights really, but it's similar. But if you're on that land, if you're not hiding, you're doing it in the open. You're there. You're saying, "Hey, here I am." If you act as if you own it and do all the things an owner would do, tidy it, crop it, do what you know. If there was a building there, if you looked after that building and maintained the building for 10 or 20 years, that kind of thing. There was a case in London. A guy, squatted in an empty building for 10 years, 20 years maybe. Everyone knew he was there. He had lights on. He had mail there. He acted like he owned the place. After 20 years, it became his. After 20 years and 6 months, the real owner realised what had happened. Too late. A £500,000 house gone. Society wants property to be utilised. That's what it's there for. If you own it but just neglect it and forget about it, society doesn't really want that. And you can lose it. Not my game here. That's not me. It's not what I'm about. What else is there in the vicinity of the field? Decrepit farmhouse, signs of agrarian activity? No, it's wasteland in the run up to a cliff. It's further towards the cliff. There are some actual houses and apartment block. There's an apartment block. There's a house. You go down a road, a little drive, and there's a series of rows, literally halfway down cliffs, like on a ledge halfway down cliffs. But there's nothing here. There's a big building kind of behind me that's been worked on for years. If you watch some of the videos, you'll see the progression of what's happened there or not happened there. It looks just like waste. It looks like a couple of other empty fields. It just looks like scrubland. But nobody's fenced it. I haven't broken in past no trespassing signs. I haven't climbed fences or broken down gates. I just walked on like people walking their dog would walk on. And I just parked myself here one day. Then I built a bed. Then I built a shelter around the bed. Then a couple of guys, Damien and Simon, arranged and got me a tent and some other fixings, some other bits and pieces. And then a couple of ladies took pity on me, bought me a phone. I got online, and here we are. The rest is history. I am a child of charity, at your charity. Um, yeah, you seem up for a 7 hour late shift. I've done a few late ones lately, haven't I? I have done a few, and if you can keep me talking, guys, I go all week without speaking to anybody. My friend Tom came around yesterday, Monday afternoon, and brought me a like a fish stew. Um, uh, he's the only person I've spoken to, I think, since the Sunday previous. Since the Monday previous, when he brought me a breakfast. Prior to that, he brought me a chicken dinner on the Friday. So Friday, Monday, and then a week later, Monday. That's my only, I think, that's my only real world conversation. So, I've got some jibber jabber waiting to go, I guess. Oh, that's you asking me and asking if I went for 7 hours. That made me think, am I tired or not? And then I yawned. That's all that is. That is just psychosomatic. Lover's Lane, it is a little bit. Now, they would be best served around the back, next to the big building that's been renovated. They could park there all night undisturbed. You come down here, you're on a single track road. You park down here, you risk someone either wanting to come out or come in. And suddenly you got to pull your trousers up and, you know what I mean, zip up your fly and move your car. But people do pull down and do that. I've lay here just listening to them at it some nights. Sometimes I'll turn a light on inside the tent just to let them know there's a tent here. Sometimes I've walked out. um, depends how long it goes on for. I'll give them 15, 20 minutes. If they're still here after 2 fucking hours, I'm just like fucking. Because I'm on edge. They might get out and anything could happen. I'm not listening to them to listen to sex. I mean, I'm not. That's available to anybody anywhere nowadays. But sometimes I can't relax and go to sleep while there are people there. I mean, I just can't. That would be crazy. There's two layers of fabric between me and death. Like with a guy with a 2 hour stand up knockdown fist fight the other fucking month. I I can't just huddle up inside and think I'm safe. It's fabric. Doesn't even keep the wind off. Someone wants to do me damage or steal my things. I have to be aware. Super Sir kept us alive. Super Sir. Is that a typo or am I just not getting a word? I don't know what that is. Super Sir kept us alive. Had to threaten life before the central heating was turned on. My father-in-law used to turn on the fucking Christmas lights to heat the room. That was his in Christmas. That was his. I'm not putting the heating on. The lights are on. Yeah, I don't know what Super Sir means. In UK, 5 years, if not spotted, become yours. Adverse possession. It's not if you're not spotted, it's if the real owner doesn't contest. You're supposed to be open. It's not like you can put up a wall of hay bales and take over behind it and hope that nobody knows. You have to be open and above board about it. You literally have to be visible. Um, I don't know about 5 years. I thought I had 20, but okay. Everyone said no to bills. There wouldn't be any. Simple. Can't get a CCJ because no contracts. County court judgment. Don't forget I'm in a different country, but yeah, okay. Build a block of holiday lettings. This, do you know how much investment that requires? I'm a tramp in a field. If he made it there, the feds would deport him. The cops would certainly be paying a lot more interest. Yeah. Tom's in a shared apartment. Algerian couple next door. Spanish couple across the hall. Whoa, it jumped. A Ukrainian boy. I'm further back than I thought I was, aren't I? I gotta hurry up and catch up a little bit. Here we go. A Ukrainian boy at the end and the Colombian family just moved elsewhere. That's quite a mixture. Algerians, Colombians. The Spanish, the South Americans, the Spanish call pony people. It's quite racist, I'm sure. But I can't help but smile when I hear it. They do call them the pony people. They tend to be short and wide, but I got Peruvian friends. I'm not racist. I've got black friends. You can still laugh at racist things. Come on. That's quite a mixture though, and a mescla. Kitty belongs to the owner who doesn't live here. Owner should be an occupant. I prefer. If I was in a property, I'd prefer to be in one where the landlord was an occupant, had part of the property. In Ireland at present, 25% of people are in arrears in their electricity bill. Feel sad about old people struggling. Yeah, not good. Electricity's gone up ludicrously certainly over the last 10 years. But maybe even longer. I'm still hopeful that we'll get nuclear fusion and that electricity will be effectively free. My worry is that it will be such an economical investment, so much capital involved, that they'll hold it over us and just keep charging us for it anyway. Even though it's virtually free to produce, that doesn't stop the companies from charging, does it? I'm hopeful, but as ever, it's 20 years away. It's been 20 years away for the last 60 years. Wait. Sign of nature challenges bills that are all unlawful. My favourite conspiracy theorist. Karen enters the house. Karen arrived at... God, am I half an hour behind? No, you're not half an hour behind. I started on a weird time, didn't I? Whoa, what was that? I started at 1:08. Karen arrived 57. I'm 10 minutes behind. A lot of legal paperwork, good fuel. People saying hello to Karen. Keith telling other people to keep paying. He's enjoying his billless existence. They're taxing unused buildings in Ireland, yeah? I might say there's a big empty building near me, but they've been working on it for 3 years, but with like a 4-man crew, and only for 1 week out of every 4 or 8. It feels like just when the owner's got some money, it sounds like the building, it feels like the building is owned by someone who hasn't got the money. And they'll save up for 2 or 3 months, and then the builders will come for a week, but only a small crew. It's like the building's going backwards, really. Got 4-letter protocol. Send council calling them out for their fraud, and they repay all CT. Court ever paid. Love it. Oh, community tax. Maybe community tax. Love it. Pen is the sword. Pen is mightier than the sword, as my school motto and the badge on my school blazer would attest. Darfield Falston High School, where Falston is spelt foul stone. Apparently someone dug up like a lump of sulphur once upon a time, and it was a foul-smelling stone. And on that spot is where the school was. Darfield Falston High School. It's all fraud, says Sign of Nature Keith. He's a believer in all laws are derived from naval law, and because we're not on a ship, none of it counts. Something like that. That's my potted version of his story. I've scrolled by accident, and I'm trying to scroll on it. Hold on, pen and sword. Here we go. Got paperwork to indictment of court. It's all fraud. Ever thought about asking the makers of the EcoFlow? It's scrolled. Ever thought about asking the makers of the EcoFlow, American, you say, if they would sponsor you, the better one, for the EcoFlow Delta? You do unintentionally speak highly of them. I've also covered the weaknesses. Their software's not great. Their firmware isn't great, and their tech support isn't great, or customer support. I've thought about asking them. I've hinted in the past, hoping that they'd approach me. Like, who was the phone manufacturer? What was the phone I used to have? The 10,000. It was like a brick. Imagine a rectangle with the corners cut off. So it was an octagon, but an irregular octagon. And I talked about them and said how great their phones were, and they approached me. But then they tried to take the conversation off to, not Messenger, what's the green one? And I'm always suspicious of anybody who wants to move conversations from one media to another. It's owned by Facebook, it's green, it's got the word all in it or something, hasn't it? No, WhatsApp. They wanted to move, and once they wanted to move thank you. Once they wanted to move the conversation to WhatsApp, it felt, I got the heebie-jeebies. What's the brand of phone? I could dive into emails and start looking back. I had it for years. It was, you could throw it in the air, it would fall on the floor. It was fantastic. It was rugged as shit, and it had a 10,000 milliamp. I hate thousands of milli, but it was a 10,000 milliamp hour phone, the battery, so 10 amp hours. It was a beast of a phone, and so they came at me to seek sponsorship. But it fell through when I wouldn't switch to WhatsApp. It felt iffy. But if EcoFlow approached me about a sponsorship and about giving me an EcoFlow, especially with my name being Delta Mike, an EcoFlow Delta would fit, wouldn't it? Does anybody see the synergy there? 1 + 1 = 3. There's definite synergy in that, and it would be entirely accidental. You know what I mean? It is just NATO phonetic alphabet for me, for my initials. But EcoFlow. I'll give an honest review, guys. I'll give you an honest review. I am a homeless guy living in a field. Okay? I'm not a weekend warrior. I'm not going off camping and, will the EcoFlow save me over the next 3 days? Oh, I'm on holiday for a week in the desert. Can I survive with my solar panel and my EcoFlow for a week? I am a guy living in a field. Been living in the fucking field for 3 years. 18 months ago or more, I bought your EcoFlow River 2. And I'm very, very happy with it on the whole. I will point out the negatives. When the firmware fucks up, when it gets down to 20%, turns off and locks me out of that last 20%. I will comment on that shit. I will comment on how your Filipino or Taiwanese or whatever support isn't that great. But I'll tell the world how great your actual fucking product is. The product itself is solid. It's fantastic. I'm going to ruin it long before this 10-year battery, however many times you charge it and discharge it. It's going to run out for me because the USB ports are going to rust because I live in a fucking field. The 12-volt cigarette socket, I have to spin my 12-volt adapters when I put them in to rub the rust away because I live in a damp field. Even in Spain, where you think it's really warm and, you know, when you get, like tonight, it's going to get down to 9 degrees. What's the dew point tonight? 9 degrees. Things in here are going to get covered in water. My roof will probably start dripping water at some point in the next week. The condensation inside, it will rain inside. It's damp, it's real world. But EcoFlow, if you're watching, I'm up for a small sponsorship if you are. I'm not gonna curry favor with you. I'm not gonna say it how it isn't just to keep you happy. I'll tell it how it is. I'm a guy living in a field full time. Not a weekend warrior. Not on holiday for a week or a fortnight. Not attending a festival. Just a man in a field. I'm up for it if you are. Okay. Here endeth the grift. Back to you guys, because grift. I'm scrolling back. I think the whole of Europe, Americans don't use WhatsApp because they can all afford iPhones. They can all afford $2,000 for a phone. They're a little bit, they're on a little bit of a different plateau. Let me scroll back. Data subject access request. Steve Atkins, the DSAR data. It's basically it's a freedom of information request. Get any data that pertains to you. It's 10 to 12 years to claim land in the UK if you have squatted on it. Okay. Get a hedge fund to back your development. That's very easily said, sir. That's very easily said. I'm working backwards at the minute, folks. We're nothing more than collateralized debt obligations. That's why everyone's skinned and turned you into financial instruments without your consent. Okay, there we go. I was on Atari, which was Dave from the other day. It's jumped. As soon as I got back to it, it jumped forward again. Okay, there you go. I think I'm in the right area. Radio 4 did an item on nuclear fusion yesterday. It's now 30 years away and expensive. But so is climate catastrophe. But is it? I'll admit to being a climate skeptic. Not a denier. And I'll even admit that warming is happening. Causes are my hang up on that, and I am a mathematician and I've looked at the graphs. So let's be clear. Let's start there. I don't find them persuasive. The numbers have been fudged so much before the graphs are made that a graph in the 70s that showed we'd had massive cooling and we're headed for an ice age The exact same data is now used to show that through that same period, it was getting warmer. I can't get past that. Data in the 70s, up to the 50 years of data to the 70s, showed massive cooling. And that same data now shows massive warming. And I cannot get past that. You can't, oh, we've adjusted, oh, they didn't know about the thermal heat effect of concrete or airports or runways or cement, tarmac. We've adjusted the numbers, have we? I'm just supposed to trust your adjustment that turned a 50-year cooling into a 50-year heating. And I'm supposed to just trust your adjustment. I can't. Fusion 30 years away. I think it's nearer. There are some benchmarks that keep getting hit. There are these different places where they're doing these things. There's one in America and there's one in France. And they're pushing forward and forward. And each time they break the previous record of how much power is output, they're increasing by tenfold. When they break the record, they smash the record. The reaction runs for 19 seconds instead of 1 second. Kind of improvements. We're not too far away from hitting parity, where the amount of energy put in to get things running is equaled by the amount of energy that they get out. It's not far away. It's there or thereabouts. We're on the cusp. Now, how you turn that into a fully working commercial power station, that's years and years and years away. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Keith can't believe that people didn't Google DSAR. I did earlier. Yeah. I'm still not sure of the pronunciation of this foul team. I'm going to go foul team. It sounds Gaelic. Whether it's Welsh or Irish, I don't think I got an answer the other day. I'll Google it and then put in an order for a super yacht. Yeah. I don't go through airport scanning machines or court scanning machines. It carries a letter that says that I don't submit. And apparently they have to honour that if he says so. Spain and all of Latin America use WhatsApp. Yeah, everywhere except America use either WhatsApp or Messenger. Prefer Signal for any sensitive. I'm suspicious any app that puts itself forward as being, hey, here's the secret app you need to use. I'm always suspicious that those have been run by law enforcement. Keith, I stand in law, not legalized shit. There's a distinction between law and legal that you draw that I don't understand, but I'm happy to I'm happy to tolerate you. Tom's got to look into walking past the X-rays. They set these knife, what do they call them? They set up these doorways now, don't they, in areas of London? And if you avoid them, they view that suspicious, and then they'll search you for avoiding the doorway. But the law is an ass. Mr. Bumble, a Dickens character. Then, sir, I say the law is an ass. To give the full quote. You won't find it because they want your compliance. Feds are policy enforcers. Quite often, I watch these, in America, I watch the so-called auditors. And it's amazing. So the law says that in America, the police, you can't take a firearm inside a post office. The post office get annoyed at somebody filming, which is entirely legal, not illegal, legal, because it's a public space. So someone videos, they call the police, and the police come in carrying a gun. And then they say that, oh, you can't video because there's a sign on the wall that says that you can't video. That sign's not backed by a law. But not bringing a firearm into the post office is backed by multiple fucking federal laws. They're all on a poster called something like poster number 7. There's a whole set of rules and laws. And the police don't enforce the law, they enforce the sign, the policy that says no recording, which isn't backed by a law. So they back policy, not law. And their own ego. They don't like being challenged and told that they're wrong. That's the worst thing you can do with a copper, is to tell them that they've got the law wrong and that you're right. Yeah. Fiduciary obligations in law, illegal conversion, jurisdictional breach under administrative admiralty doctrine, estoppel by concealment of material facts. Now, there's a whole load of big words there. Fiduciary meaning trust, obligations is obvious. In law, illegal conversion. Conversion is like theft, but where if I lend you my lawnmower and you never give it back, you didn't steal it, you didn't take it without authorization. So that's conversion. It's a form of theft, but where you were given it but didn't give it back. So let's carry on. Fiduciary obligations in law, illegal conversion, jurisdictional breach, so breach of jurisdiction, under admiralty doctrine, administrative admiralty doctrine. And then you've got estoppel, which is a clever word, which I don't fully remember the meaning of right now. It's a form of appealing, it's a form of using courts to make someone stopping something that they shouldn't be doing. It's a form of estoppel. How do you explain estoppel? It's like an injunction where you go to the courts and make someone stop doing something that they shouldn't have been doing in the first place. It's yeah. This is a spaghetti of a doctrine estoppel by concealment of material facts. So somebody concealed some material facts. Somebody lied and breached admiralty doctrine and did some kind of conversion. So stole some rights, I'm guessing is where we're going here. Stole some rights or abilities that otherwise would have been a fiduciary obligation under law. I can't pick the fucking bones out of that, mate. I did, honestly, folks, I just did my best attempt to pick the fucking bones out of that. But I've got no... How that... There's a theory that all law started because of admiralty law, but fuck that, because we're not on a boat. Is the gist of where a lot of these free men of the land and what's my other word, Keith? My other term, free men of the land or sovereign citizens. They all draw their I'm not even going to say conspiracy theory. They draw their theories from this theory that all law is drawn from naval law, but you're not on a boat and you're not in the Navy, so fuck that shit. And it would appear that on some level they might have a point. Maybe. So back to global warming. Maybe slight warming sounds more palatable to the masses than massive freeze while they prepare and plunder what can be had. Yeah, this is when global warming became global weirding, became climate change. Because it's true, we're warming in a certain area sets it's the butterfly effect. A change here magnified there. Like at the minute, this thing with America about to freeze is caused by warming. It's a warm pocket of air over the Arctic that has destabilized the normally stable jet streams to wander further south and drag cold Arctic air with them. So it's warming that is causing the cooling, because it's all a delicate system. It's well, it was in balance, and yeah, parts of coastal England are eroding into the sea, but they always have. Can you blame that on warming, or is that just what coasts do? Water is literally known as the universal solvent. It dissolves rock over time, hence the Grand Canyon, hence sea lines and seashores and buildings collapsing into the sea. But is it warming? Geomorphology, a sign of nature again. I read that as land changing. He had a different, the morphology was more, I think under your definition, it was more controlled, it was more deliberate. I can't remember quite what it was you said the other week. The 30K data subject access request is titled Biometric Data Fraud, GDPR Breaches and Illegal Conversion. And in response to this sea of long words, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, I would have put an I in the Ocious, but I don't know. Sovereign citizen Tom, yeah. To Admiralty High Court, Royal Courts of Justice, Military Court Service. I do like my conspiracy theorist friend. I do like him, and as long as I can follow the argument, I don't know that I always agree with it. I don't know to what extent it carries weight or will be successful. I know that a lot of the sovereign citizen stuff in America fails. I'm not aware of a successful sovereign citizen claim in America, but I'm aware of a lot of people. Yeah, I don't need a driving license. I'm not driving. I'm traveling. That that is just bogus bullshit. I don't need a driving. Driving is something you do with sheep, apparently. I'm not driving. I'm traveling, and therefore I don't need a driving license. Really? Really? To drive is the current tense of drove, which is the past tense, and it's to do with steering sheep along land. I'm not taking sheep, I'm just travelling, and I don't need a driver's license. I don't know. The most famous in Norway, Ingunn Sigurdsdatter, was carried away by the white coats some years ago. Yeah, you see, it's been sectioned against my will too, but they couldn't talk me into chemical lobotomy, and I haven't drawn blood, so they can't yet force me. That sounds heavy. Lobotomy. I don't know that lobotomy stood the test of time. Used to push a pin in somewhere near the eye and through and into the brain to separate the two halves, where the two halves of the brain join. If you could puncture that and split that, nah. It was a big deal. Turn of the century. It was right into the 20th century, still being done in. I'm not going to say in gay abandon, but it was a very frequent procedure, right up probably into the 20s and 30s. You used to hear these tales in the 70s and 80s, didn't you, of people that had been put in institutions in the 20s and 30s, and that just spent basically all their lives there, and all they'd done was, like, I don't know, stole a packet of chewing gum or a loaf of bread or something. Sign of Nature, Keith, 130 there. He said 30K data subject access request is not rebuttal, it's bulletproof. I guess we'll see, my friend. I'm going to start looking into some of these conspiracy theories type stuff. They are interesting. I do have an interest in conspiracy theories. I don't know how much they'll hold up, but I do find the whole thing interesting. I'm willing to spend an afternoon reading up on stuff. Books Magistrates, July 2023. 1.1 million paid back in. I need a different. What's CT? Council tax. They stopped with the ice picks and loaded people up with very harmful substances by pill. Yeah, psychiatry with the medications became the replacement, didn't it? Um, I know people in their 20s wrecked by it. Yeah, that's okay. I think I'm up to, unless I've missed something, I'm up to date with chat. Let me just double check with a top chat and a live chat. Yeah, I'm up to date. They stopped with the ice picks. It's just jumped back to supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I would have never spelled ocious like that. It has to have an I in it. Ocous. But what do I know? I'm not a writer of nonsense. Who wrote that one? The whole supercalifragilistic thing. It sounds like an Edward Lear, but it's not, is it? I am getting numb sitting like this. I'm having to sit funny because of how Tina is in the bed, and I'm sitting on one buttock. Let me just. Okay, babe. You're okay down there, yeah? Tina's okay. She's laying across the bed, and it's forcing me to bend and twist. I might try and put this back down here. Give me a second, folks. I'm gonna. Oh! Oh! Blood flow suddenly into the buttock. I'll get pins and needles now, won't I? Oh, I want to prop myself up, but at the same time, not just have all my weight on the left buttock. It's getting a little bit. That's now facing this way. That's too bright in my face. Is that okay by you guys? I want to let the blood flow to this particular leg, or the top of this leg. Mary Poppins sang it, but Julie Andrews sang it, but yeah, she didn't write it. Who wrote it is the question. Who came up with that nonsense? Waistband of my undies digging in. My typing is bad. Yeah, I know, I got it. But no, she sang it. Yeah, Julie Andrews. She's still with us. I think she is, isn't she? Julie Andrews, let's check. She did, what was that film she did where she went topless? Just me being a bloke. Julie Andrews, two taps to get into search. I'm hating this. 2 taps to get to search. Julie Andrews, actress and singer, 90 years old, born in 35. Oh fuck, she doesn't look good in that final picture there. Is that, I'm hoping that's just artifacts from a bad picture. That's, what the fuck? No. Oh no. Oh. The real picture looks worse than the one with the artifacts. I'm sorry, Julie. I know 90s. You know what I mean? 90. I mean, I'm taking the piss, but it wasn't a good picture. Storm Brown brings floodings and travel disruption to UK. That looks like York. Is that bar I used to go in York? Is York flooded? Hold on. There's a bar in York where they would put the lines where the various tides, the various floods. Was it the King's Arms? It might have been the King. I do not agree. Okay. Where you're showing me a picture, BBC, but you're not telling me where the picture's at. Well, it is a video, I guess, but I'm not gonna. I'm busy. Someone tell me, where are we? Most of the story seems to mention Scotland. I'd swear that looks like. Oh, it won't expand. It won't do the zoom thing. Where's flooded? In Scotland, Scottish schools in Scotland, new amber warnings in Scotland, northwest of Scotland. You're not mentioning towns or You can't show me a photograph and not tell me where it's at. Well, they also mention Wales. Yellow warnings for the whole of Northern Ireland, Wales, and parts of. Oh, they've passed. Less severe warnings for wind remain in place. Any floods near any of you guys? Lovely and warm in the Midlands. Kings, says Karen. Are you saying King's Arms in York? I thought it was. She's 90. Yeah. Karen's still. Are you still here, Karen? Or are you bobbing in and out? I don't think I saw you for a while. How many hours? I've been prattling on for 3 hours 5 minutes. Apparently, I didn't know. And I think I've had 2 donate. Am I right in saying I've had 2 donate? 2. I almost said Dalmatians. 2 donations so far. I'm doing well, guys. I'm making money hand over fist tonight. Cheers for that. Thank you. Always appreciate a nice donation. Oh, that went down cold. Oh, only my second can, yeah. And I'm here somewhere roughly. I don't know exactly, but 1.5 cans in after 3 hours. That's almost twice as fast as the other night. I was 3 hours in and I was only halfway down the can, wasn't I? 3/4 of the way down the can. What are we going to talk about now then, guys? Karen's still here, but that's her now drawing a line under it, off to bed. All right, Karen. We'll chat in the morning. If I can, I want to do the cash to card thing if I can at some point. I almost went shopping today and then found that when I added up everything that I've spent since putting money on my card, I didn't have enough to go shopping. I've only got about £7 left on the card now. I was going to go shopping this morning and buy the other half of the things. I thought I had £50 on my card, and then I added up everything I'd spent, and no, I had less than 20, and so I just went across the way and got a bit. But we'll sort that. I've got plenty. I've got money in PayPal. It's just PayPal. I can't spend PayPal. Has to get put on a card and then tippy tappied. Otherwise I'm stuck. So good night, Karen. We'll have a talk about that tomorrow, maybe tomorrow night. Where are we? This is Tuesday. Tomorrow will be Wednesday. Tomorrow will be Scruff Dog. Maybe I'll go shopping Thursday or Friday. Okay, all right, Karen. You got a break tomorrow, okay? Guys, gals, gentlemen and female gentlemen, as somebody I watch online puts it sometimes. Dudes and lady dudes. What's he called? The Blue Jew. I can't remember his name. The Blue Jew. No, he's animated. He uses one of these programs. He moves and the cartoon moves. You never see him. You just see this cartoon. Nox? Something Nox. Nox Taku. Nux Taku. God, let me... He is the Blue Jew. Let me do a search. Two presses to do a search. Nux. Nuxtaku. Nux Taku. Okay, you could put a space after the X. Nux space Taku. Nux Taku. The Blue Jew. He's very funny. Follows internet drama and just comments on whatever big streams are in whatever kind of trouble. Slightly right-wing perspective. Being a Blue Jew, he was mainly on the Israeli side versus the Palestine thing. I'm not getting involved. errors and issues on both sides. But he's a fun guy to watch. Rain Friday, yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It's going to be dark and dreary and dismal over in Torrevieja, if that's what you're meaning. Um, I'm going to run out of power at some point during that. My little device here does not hold out for 3 or 4 days. I get through overnight, no problem. I can get, if at a stretch, I can get through a second day, a next day. And there's no way I'm going to go 3 or 4. That's going to be a challenge. If I can't flag down one of my neighbours and ask them to just top it up for an hour. If they plug it in for, it doesn't even need an hour. Let me think. 250 watt hours on a 220 volt circuit. Plugged into the wall. It's no more than half an hour, is it? I mean, it's fractions of an hour. In theory, what, 220, 13 amp, that's 3 kilowatts. It's a 1/12 of an hour for 250 watt hours. A little bit less because there's going to be inefficiencies in the conversion from AC to DC. 20 minutes, half an hour, fully charged. Ever talk to any Russians or Ukrainians? I have friends that are Russians. I have friends that are Ukrainians. People that helped me. I talk to both. Yeah. I've had friends that are both. There's not in-depth discussion because their English ain't great and my Ukrainian or Russian's non-existent. We tend to use Spanish as an intermediate language, or use the phones for translation. But even that, I'll type into the phone, they'll speak into it, and the translations are pretty muddy. They're not brilliant. According to maps, there's a 24-hour bar 6 blocks from here. How realistic is that in Spain? Oh, I don't know, mate. I've had the maps tell me that bars exist and there's nothing. I've walked to areas and there's just nothing there. There was one that was listed on Avenida de la Mancha. And when I walked there, it was like one of those, those transformer blocks, the brick building, and inside there's a fan going, blowing air out, and it's taking in high powered power and putting out proper electric for the locals, 220 volts. So it's probably coming in at like 33 kilovolts or something, and and getting transformed and switched down. But that was listed as a bar. So I don't know. Sometimes you just have to walk the area and see. You can't tell. Maybe it's real, maybe it's not. Check the comments or the reviews. If the location is off, maybe someone will say, or if the hours are off, someone might mention in the comments. You got everything there, slippers and all. I've got better than slippers. I've got these things that are like a cross between a sock and a slipper. I think they're Marvel superheroes themed. There's one of them under my chair over there, and the other one's going to be nearby, but I haven't dug it out. Who knows what kind of state it's in. But yeah. Oh, okay. I'm starting to get tired, folks. I didn't realise. Is that 16 thumbs up? We're not going to make 20. Nobody there's going to help me make 20 thumbs ups. Most of the reviews are 6 or 7 years back, but some from the past year, 5-star, otherwise a mixed bag. That's interesting. My recommendation would be to walk around there during the day. Don't go exploring at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever the fuck we're on. 10 to 2. Um, Go at the same location at dinner time or early afternoon tomorrow and ask them what time they're open till. Don't be out exploring after if especially if you've had a few already. I had no idea what state you're in, mate. I've no clue. But and no judgment here. He says 1.5 beers in. Nothing about hours. Spaniards usually mention service and pricing. Google Maps usually has an hours indicator. They'll show you how many people were there at different times of day, and also if the owners list them, like the supermarkets and stuff. I often check their opening times. They update them weekly, usually, to let you know if there's any special holidays or shit. Depends how on the ball the owners are, or whether it's just been filled in by customers. But if something claims to be 24 hours, there's a fair chance. I mean, if you're up late and if you're of a mood, I mean, you might have a walk down. I don't know. Don't do it if you're too drunk already. We don't want you getting attacked. How are you after the other week? Are you fully repaired? All the cuts and bruises and scrapes and black eyes and everything. Fuck. What is that? Suddenly I'm tired and I've got the hiccups. It's like a Charlie Chaplin fucking film where you drink 2 shots of whiskey or something and now you're hiccuping like some sort of fucking tramp. Did you see what I did there? I thought it was very clever. Happy Constitutional Day. That was that Monday? That was yesterday. Day before yesterday. Yeah. No, hold on. That was Friday, wasn't it? Monday was Mary. What was Mary's Day? I don't know. I'm not religious, and it's a Catholic thing, but Mary was declared free of all wrongdoing and the impregnation, the Immaculate Conception. That was Monday. I think Friday, or it might have been Saturday, was Saturday. Saturday was Constitution Day. We had music blaring away in the background until 5 in the morning. Yeah. And fireworks, obviously. Fireworks because Spain. Spain. Yeah. They like the fireworks. Everything from football matches, just a goal in a football match. Somebody scoring a goal in a football match and fireworks will go off, especially when it's one of the biggies. What do they call the ones where Madrid play Barcelona? There's a word. It's not going to come to mind. They have a name for the big. It's like the big Spanish derby, really. It's like Man United versus Liverpool back in the day. What do they call them? Barcelona. I'm embarrassed that I have to look this up. Barcelona versus Madrid. See whether I remember it before I've got to delete that. That's typed wrong. Versus Madrid. There's a word. Name. I'm going to type the name. There's a name for that type of game. El Clasico. Fuck, I knew that. No, Google got to it before I did. My brain didn't kick in before I got here. El Clasico. Yeah. But in those games, just scoring a goal and then just half time fireworks just to say, hey, it's half time and we're in the lead. Or what? Torrevieja, to an extent, is known as Madrid by the sea. Because Barcelona's on the sea, up north. Madrid's way inland. But if you draw a line straight across from Madrid, pretty much, you have to go down south a little bit. But you arrive at Torrevieja, and Torrevieja has this reputation of Madrid by the sea. Did you see that? The cable was coming out of the what do you call it when you plug a cable? The port, the charging port. Yeah, and the light was dimming. I pushed it in, and the light just suddenly went brighter. Looking forward to my summer tramp rave. Never had one before, but we've done open houses here, though. I have put out a message and said, "Hey, it's an open house. Hey, it's maybe I'll do one. I'll do it while I'm live streaming, and you can meet the people. I don't know. Some people don't want to be on camera. Maybe I can shine the camera in one corner, and people who want to be on camera can be on camera, and others avoid it. But I'm thinking, I've wanted to bring together like a cluster of people that have helped me. So when Karen's in the country, Karen and family, although her hubby's not a one for being on camera, so that's okay. But Karen, Anthony, Tom, they were all here at the same time a little while back, but it didn't work out. I'd like for some of these people to meet some of the main characters that I talk about. My Spanish friend Adela, whose shoulder kept popping out and what's the word? Dislocating. She just had her surgery a couple of weeks ago. But when she comes down, she'll bring me a fantastic meal, and stuff for the dog as well, stuff for Tina. It'd be nice to get everyone together at once, but it's impossible to get everyone. But we'll get a few. Now, at the minute, I've got Tom here at the minute. My friend Tom's here. Obviously, Adela lives here, so she's here. There aren't many others, though. Anthony's coming nearer Christmas, but Tom will have left by then. He's going back to Ireland to be with family over the period. But you know, there are people here. Ryan in Valencia, maybe could come down. I don't know. I could do the open house thing, and then it's up to people, isn't it? If I can announce it enough in advance. But it might just be a total flop if everyone's out of the country. I do an open house, and you know, one person shows up, and it's someone I've never heard of. Because there are lurkers. Some of you people there are lurking and aren't in chat. Okay, the numbers are getting low. We might call it quits. I have been yawning a little bit. We're coming up on 3.5 hours. What do you think? Do I call it quits on 3.5, or do we go for 4? Murcia City is worth a visit. I'm sure it is if I had transport and if I didn't have a disabled dog. I would certainly give it a go. We went once to what's it called? Oh, what's the guy with the elephants? Come on, you can do this. So over in Tunisia, there's a city, and they came over to Spain and they formed another city, a daughter city. So you got the metropolis would be the original, not Carinthia. Anybody here give a guy a hand? So Hannibal, what city is Hannibal from? Grew up in Spain actually, but from a city linked to an African city, Tunisian city. It's one of the biggies. If I just type Hannibal City into Google, I'll get in fucking no. So, you know what the word metropolis means? It means mother city. That's a city, Carthage, thank you. Hannibal, Carthage. There's Carthage over there, and then they've got one here, just down the road. Cartagena. And Hannibal sets off with his elephants and goes on a rampage against Rome, up and over and through the mountains and off. You're all coming up with the Phoenicians are different. Seville, great. There's lots of nice cities here, but why was I on about Hannibal? There was a reason. Okay, we're talking about heading on down to Murcia, and down that way you've got Cartagena. which is an offshoot from Carthage. Basically, it's a translation or a transliteration. Carthage into Spanish, Cartagena. Yeah. Anyway, there I go. That's just down there. There are these. I've been there. I think I've been. I might have gone to Murcia. It might just not be that memorable. Cartagena was, and there are ruins down that way. Hannibal, family name Barca, by the way, Barcelona. Okay, is there a link? That could well be. Cartagena was Cartago Nova in Roman times. Yeah, you see, that's which language are you going to go with for the name? Yeah, Roman times. You see, Carthage wasn't Roman until after he'd lost, I'm guessing. Hence his rampage with his elephants that no one had ever seen before. He loves it when a plan comes together, apparently. I'm going to wait and see if anyone gets that. Hannibal loves it when a plan comes together. First person to type the correct TV series, or some derivation of it, gets points in my eyes. I love it when a plan comes together, he says with a cigar. That's Hannibal. Nobody? Oh, wow. I guess we are going to be hanging it up on 3.5 hours then. Tom's off. You're off to the bar to sit and I hope it's open. Good luck, mate. Good luck. And be careful. Don't wake up without your underwear again. No black. I don't want to hear about black eyes and your underwear missing. Those are not phrases that should go together. There goes Tom. Tommy Tombstone. Nobody's answered my it's not exactly a riddle, is it? But my Hannibal and plan comes together. I don't have to spell it out, surely. It's an A-Team reference. Come on. George Peppard. Colonel John Smith, known as Hannibal. Colonel John Hannibal Smith. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. I'm not singing. Okay, folks, we are going to end it in about 2 minutes, if that's okay with everyone. If I could get to 4 hours, that would mean that it was processed straight away and went live. As it is, it's going to take about 15 hours for YouTube to process it. This won't be available until late tomorrow afternoon or evening. But that's okay. I was in the mood to come live, and I've got half an idea, half a note on what YouTube call watch time, the number of hours that you guys have watched. So if 10 of you watch 5 hours, I get 50 hours kind of credit in YouTube stats. That's not going to work. Let me see if I can show you my activity on YouTube. I did used to hit 1,000 hours as like a regular thing for a month or so. Let me see whether you can look at this. It's going to be reversed for you. See the graph? And over on the far side, it says 900, but it says it backwards, obviously. That used to say 1,000 because I'd got lots and lots of watch time in a short period of time. It is reversed, but it's just one of the stats that YouTube keeps track of, and I'd like to see it get back above 1,000 over the Christmas period. 1,000 watch time hours during the festivity. Well, yeah, during the festivities, during the month. It's a 30-day running total. or running average, well, running total. I just want to bump my numbers up a little bit. I'm silly. I like graphs. I'm a maths kind of guy. Graphs and wavy lines and things are going up. If they're going up, that's better. They went down over summer, and that's less good because it went down. It's just a mental fucking. It's of no. It's of no consequence to anybody. It's of no consequence to me. It's not tied to ad revenue, or I don't. I'm not monetized, so it doesn't matter. It's just a number that I'm playing with, so I wanted to bump it up. If we could have kept going longer, I would have. But I think we've run out of steam, so we're gonna never watch the A Team. No, you're doing it wrong. Go download the A Team now, for fuck's sake. What? They ran away from a Vietnam prison. They were tried and found guilty of nasty stuff, which was wrong, and they escaped to the underground. I wanted to say New York, but it might have been LA. They escaped to the underground. And now, if you're in trouble and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A Team. Damn fool. Murdoch. Murdoch was crazy. B.A. Baracus. Mr. T was always smacking him about a bit or threatening to smack him about. All right, folks. Yeah, Mr. T was good. George Peppard, the failed actor that he was. There's a man who kind of lived his career backwards. Started off as a star and ended up as a kind of also ran. Apparently, he wasn't a nice guy to work with. He wasn't great to work, and that damaged his career, his reputation, and his career. So he started off as a major film star and ended up as a almost failed TV star. Although I did love Banachek. You got to go watch Banachek. How are we going to spell Banachek? Banacech, maybe. Supposedly Polish or Hungarian, somewhere Eastern European. He played a insurance investigator that always solved the crime, as it were. Banachek. You got to watch Banachek, and then obviously Breakfast at Tiffany's. You're going to do a George Peppard thing. You got to start with. You got to do Breakfast at Tiffany's. And then the A Team. There's probably other stuff somewhere in the filmography, but those would be my highlights. I did love the A Team. My little brother was like the right age. He was 7 or 8. That would make me 15 or 16. I was at the top end of the age range for it. It was a little bit, I could see the stupidity of it. I could see the cars hitting the side of a bush and flipping over. I could see that there was a ramp behind the bush. But my little brother, he loved it, and he was the right age for it, 7 or 8. Great times. Anyway, folks, as I said before, I am drawing a line under it here. I don't think it would be fair on the doggy to. Oh, she's moving. She is moving. I might be able to just finish in the manner to which you've become accustomed. No, maybe not. Where are you? You're right down there. Hey, babe. Hey. Can I say goodbye to the peoples with you? Is that okay? You are awake. Okay. Give me a second, folks. Give me a second. I'm gonna unplug the phone. I'm gonna switch the camera around. I'm gonna turn the light on well away from her. Okay. We'll scoot on around. Hey, babe. Hello, Tina. Hey, babe. Hey. Can we say goodbye to the peoples? Hey. I'll give you a little tickle here. Like a little tickle here. What about on your eyebrows? Both eyebrows. We get both eyebrows. You like that? Okay, folks. From Tina. And from me, Delta Mike, out. Thank you very much, folks. Catch you later.